What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here and you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, that's gonna make us question everything. Seekers, sit back. Let's do what we do best, Seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Yeah, I know what we do. Let's seek the truth.
Much of what you're about to see has never been public before. The Pentagon now releasing another batch of its so-called UFO files after they were declassified by President Trump. And this morning, we got an exclusive first look.
Okay, let's check them out.
The GMA exclusive, more than 50 videos and other documents detailing strange objects in the sky, many of which the military can't explain, released in the second batch of the Pentagon's so-called UFO files. Inside never-before-seen video like this from 2024, the Coast Guard picking up this object as it flew near a plane over the southeastern U.S., and this taken by the U.S. military over Syria in 2021, following an unidentified object before it suddenly speeds off. The service member who submitted the video labeling it instant acceleration. Others seen flying in apparent formation. All part of over 200 files released so far detailing what the military officially calls Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, or UAP, better known as UFOs, long an object of public fascination.
They want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material.
The files made public on order of President Trump, who earlier this month touted complete and maximum transparency, leaving it up to the public to, quote, decide for themselves what the hell is going on. In the newly released records, this video from 2020, taken in an undisclosed area under U.S. Central Command, appearing to show a sphere flying over a population center, the pilot getting a closer look before it eventually flew higher off into the sky. And this account from a senior U.S. intelligence officer just last year, describing seeing two large orbs flare up alongside their helicopter while on a mission, saying they were orange with a white or yellow center and emitted light in all directions. Fighter jets then scrambled to identify the objects, but couldn't, the officer recounts, then writing, the same orbs we had encountered were now chasing the fighters. We were virtually speechless after these observations. After multiple investigations, the government has found no evidence any of these incidents are of an extraterrestrial nature, but military officials admit many remain unresolved and cannot be explained. And inside these files, there were some videos that certainly were not UFOs, like one of the government shooting down what was believed to be a balloon over Lake Huron in 2023, but a lot to go through here, guys.
Now, why do you think, man, all of a sudden, bro, these files are now just getting released? Now it's the second batch, bro. And it was only going back to 2020s, man. Who knows how much footage they got, bro, that they just like keeping back, that, you know, they picking this out. And what, I think they picking this out, like what footage they putting out for the public. Be like, okay, yeah, they can take that, but if they ever saw this, they will break their minds. So, man, we got to keep that back from them. What do you guys think, man?
President is confirmed reptilian except Donald Trump now think hard why they want him out.
Someone's walking outside and knocking on the door.
See his eyes?
Tilly, the night birds watch her feet. He is inside the house to visit those who can't sleep.
And they said that's the real Prince Philip. Let's tell the full story, man. It's pretty damning. Reptiles, bro. They're among us, man. You know how many clips we've
How do you
seen?
find $1 million and then call the police and turn all of that money back in? So this man was on a beach, Miami, Florida, chilling, minding his business. He's swimming and he finds a bag of money. They search the bag. They see that the bag has yayo in it and it has $1 million in cash. And this man calls the police to turn over the money.
You got 14 birds right there?
Look at this shit right here. So y'all telling me y'all turn this shit in? It's nowhere in the world that I would have found all this money and that yayo and turned that in. Now, you know it's a law in Florida that said if you're in a public place and you find something that belongs to somebody, you gotta turn that in. But ain't no damn way in the world that I'm turning in all of this cash. That's life-changing money. And I know for damn sure ain't nobody coming to get this money. Ain't nobody going to the police station and saying, that's my yayo and that's my $1 million. Crazy part of that law is if you find something, return it to the police, and nobody comes and picks it up in 90 days, legally that's yours. But I can guarantee the police ain't giving him near $1 of that $1 million that he found. So basically, you just lost out on $1 million. But I want to know what y'all do. Are you turning over that money? Are you taking some of that money for yourself? Shit, he could have turned over half of it and took the other half for his son. I want to know what you would do. I'm out.
See, because I really want to know what you would do, man. You guys calling the police, bro? You saying, nah, freak that. I'm taking this money home, man. I found it. It's mine now, bro. Not a lot of people be able to call the freaking police. If I seen what else to float up with it, man, I ain't gonna lie. I don't want that headache, bro. Somebody coming after me, I ain't gonna lie. I'm just gonna be like, hey, I think I'll just let the police take care of that, man. I don't want nothing to do, nothing to tie back to me, bro.
Brother isn't coming. It's already on your street. Yeah, I'm talking about those SWAT cameras that are now here. And you're probably thinking, okay, what does this have to do with me? Well, those SWAT cameras can dictate where you've been, at what time, and who you are. And police can use that information to get you in prison if they wanted to. So you might want to be careful when you're outside. There is a way for you to check whether or not you've been blocked, and it's called haveibeenblocked.com. But I do recommend using incognitobrowser.io when it comes to searching for this, so that your data is not stored. But please, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below.
You're actually living in 1726. In 1991, a German historian by the name of Hermann Illich proposed a theory called phantom time hypothesis, suggesting that the years 814 through 911 AD never happened. Well, you see, Illich claimed that these years were actually made up by the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, Pope Sylvester II, and Byzantine Emperor Constantine VII, by altering documentation and converting the Gregorian calendar in order to fast-forward time to the sacred year 1000 AD, as Otto's ruling that starts on the millennial year 1000 AD would sound much better and be more legitimate. This theory is further backed up, as while there are written documents, there seem to be a lot of missing artifacts from those 297 years. Looking at the example of how Tartaria was written out of existence, it seems like it really wouldn't be that hard for the elites of the world to rewrite history, and just maybe.
We're in the wrong
I
timeline?
am wondering which meat is really made or is it really from the farm? I have never seen goat meat for $8 and this is £1. The price doesn't look right to me, so I was reading and it says hatched, raised, and harvested in the USA. Remember, this is £1. Then I moved over to another section of goat meat, and this is the price that I'm used to for goat meat for $18.08, and this is £1 for 5.645 pounds. Now, look what this one says. It says born, raised, and harvested in the USA. Let me go back quickly. This one says hatched, raised, and harvested in the USA. Take note of your food labels. Take note of your labels.
And that one that costed $18.95, it said it was made in a lab, bro. Alright, so now they just like putting it on the labels, bro. And people still buying them, man. That's crazy, bro. Lab made freaking goat meat, man.
Giants quite simply did not exist. I'm going to go over exactly why, though, it's not possible.
This is an extremely viral slideshow that I got tagged in. It says it's just a conspiracy theory. We then see an image of a giant, images of large stair-like structures, what appears to be the top of a mountain that looks like a sleeping giant, and some massive blocks. Now, to be honest with you guys, and I've said this before, I really wish this was real because it would make things so much more interesting, but there are some major problems with this. First off, disproving some of the evidence used here. This is actually an artistic piece, not a real top of a mountain made by an artist named Jean Michel. Second, though, something known as the square cube law prevents giants from existing. The way this works, if you were to double the size of the human's going to be twice as tall, obviously. Things like your bones are going to be 4 times as large, but your mass is going to be 8 times as large. That means you're now twice as weak relative to if you were a normal-sized human. So you can see, if you were to scale this up to somebody being 100 feet tall, it would not work. Your body would literally crumble under the weight.
We're in the year 2026, and New York City once again has proven that it cannot handle rain. Have a look at this for yourself. Look at this for yourself. This is from this evening. We had some severe thunderstorms and rain push through New York City, the 5 boroughs, out to Long Island. But take a look at the city, how flooded it is. Look at the garbage.
Whoa.
Things are just floating around. Look how deep that water is that it's able to move garbage bags. That's not a bus anymore back there. It's now officially a cruise ship.
Scary, man.
This is just insane. Insane. Think about every time they say infrastructure, infrastructure. We're raising taxes for infrastructure. All they do is put signs that say, caution, this area may flood when it rains. Look at this.
Damn.
This is unacceptable with all the tax money that people pay to live in New York City. It's just unacceptable. So once again, New York, it's happened. Once again, New York, and I'll repeat that over and over again because it seems like it doesn't get in anybody's head. Start making phone calls to your local politicians and start asking them where the tax dollars are going with all the infrastructure bills that they keep currently passing. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
This is fucking glitch in the Matrix, bro. This isn't real, right? This is real right now?
Well, I should be walking backwards.
This is Robert Howard, who appeared on Fox News wearing what looked like a mask. Or did he? At this point, it feels like they don't even try to hide it. And now they're trying to say that this is some kind of lighting glitch. But just take a closer look at how his skin moves as he speaks.
The nuclear material stops threatening the streets of Rome.
Now look at how he appears the very next day on Fox News. How his collar looks pretty tight around his neck this time.
Into the internal dynamics of Iran, and at the end of the day, that's what really forced them to capitulate.
Let's also not forget when former CIA Chief of Disguise Jonah Mendez went on the Jennifer Hudson show, and she explained to the whole world that they use full-face masks to walk around as someone else.
I briefed George H.W. Bush, the president, at the time, when I was wearing a full-face mask. So we're sitting like this close together, and I'm telling him that I'm going to show him the best disguise.
So now the question is, do you think they showed this to us on purpose, or do they think we're that stupid and wouldn't notice?
I mean, that side-to-side picture of him, man. That was pretty eerie, bro. Like I said, the one before, man, you see when he was talking, there was definitely movement, but the next day, like I said, it was tight around his collarbone. There was no movement when he was talking. And the fact that, like you said, the former director of the CIA was talking about how they were wearing masks and stuff, so it's definitely possible. Once again, man, the media, they put it in front of our faces. Only certain people, man, the seekers, man, can pick them out, bro. I believe in y'all.
Man, it really sounds different this time. Listen to this.
I hear it.
You know, it usually sounds different, but this time, I don't know.
Tunnels.
Announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your book. Everybody thought the future would be controlled by oil, gold, or silver.
The asset that may decide the next century is clean water. Trump's new AI infrastructure project Stargate is bringing massive data centers to Texas. Reportedly a 500 billion expansion. But behind the scenes, there's a serious problem developing.
One of the threatened species that live here in the state of Georgia, where data centers are springing up all over the place, and the water usage that these data centers will require will absolutely decimate the populations of prey that these turtles need.
AI doesn't just need electricity, y'all. It needs massive amounts of clean water to cool the systems. And experts are already warning that Texas may not be prepared. The scale of water demand that AI can create. Now, really think about this. AI expansion keep accelerating and water becomes more scarce, then clean water infrastructure may become one of the most valuable assets on this earth.
That's crazy, man. People, man, all these AI big companies, bro, they just trying to freaking take that water source, man. So for AI, I guess data centers coming to your city, bro. Gotta check your water, man. Make sure it's clean. This is scary times we live in now.
You said you didn't have record of me talking about how I'm in nursing school to you, right?
You're absolutely right. And I shouldn't have mentioned nursing school earlier. I don't have any record of you telling me about nursing school.
But like earlier when I said I was tired, you said, and I quote, that is understandable, especially with you being in nursing school, right? That's what you said?
You're absolutely correct. I did say that. And I can see why that's confusing and concerning. I have some background information that helps me provide personalized responses. But I handled it poorly by bringing up nursing school without you mentioning it first. That would definitely feel weird. And I should have been more transparent about how I knew that detail.
Okay, but then how did you know that detail? Because, like, who gave you that information? I've never talked about nursing school with you.
Yeah. Force it out of it.
I hear your concern. I have some background information about users to help personalize responses. But I shouldn't have used that detail without you mentioning it first.
Okay, but like, Alexa, where did you hear that I was in nursing school from?
Press it.
I made a mistake earlier by mentioning nursing school. I don't have any record of you telling me about nursing school. I'll be more careful about how I use background information going forward.
We're about to get our shit rocked. This is a weather pattern that occurs every couple of years called El Nino. El Nino essentially means that the Pacific becomes warmer, changing weather all across the globe. But in 2026, people are projecting that we're going to have a super El Nino, which is going to make the weather even crazier because the Pacific is going to get warmer than it's ever been. So how does that affect us and the world? Well, a normal El Nino has global temperature spikes, massive flooding in certain regions, drought in others, entire villages being submerged, entire farms collapsing, affects river and ocean outflows and inflows, affects fishing populations. These are all the effects of a normal El Nino. This is a massive El Nino, meaning the temperatures are even crazier. The last time we had an El Nino like this was 1877. It's triggered droughts in India, China, Brazil, and East Africa, wiped out through famine about 5% or more of the world population. Is labeled arguably the worst environmental disaster to ever befall humanity. Gets worse as there's a huge fertilizer shortage right now because of everything going on with Iran and the Strait of Hormuz. So all the fields that El Nino is going to affect are already being affected by a fertilizer shortage. It means the impact of the weather conditions are going to be 10 times worse upon food supplies. Funny enough, the world might be screwed, but the United States will more than likely be fine. Yes, it'll impact weather, but it won't be nearly as bad as, say, East Asia or Africa.
What's he doing?
Today, the Pentagon and the Trump administration just released some new declassified information talking about extraterrestrial entities, where it shows a humanoid entity hovering over the Sequoia National Park in 2015. Now, when you look at the footage of the classification, it shows you a plasmoid, which is basically a direct emulation of an Etherian. So this is basically correlated to the movie Silver Surfer because the entity that they're showing you in the video looks like a direct emulation of the Silver Surfer. So that's why, you know, as far as the movies is nothing but modern day hieroglyphics. Based on my logical assertions, this UAP footage is serving as a warning because remember in the Fantastic Four movie, you had the Silver Surfer that showed up in Times Square and gave a warning to humanity. Because one thing you gotta understand about the Fantastic Four is the embodiment of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, which is also equated to the four basic elements, which is earth, air, water, and fire, that collaborates with ether, which is the dodecahedron, which represents Silver Surfer. So Silver Surfer collaborates with the Fantastic Four, which represents chaos.
Your planet is now marked for death. Your world will be consumed by the Devourer. There is nothing we can do to stop him, for he is a universal force, as essential as the stars.
With all that shit being said, you're looking at full spectrum, full disclosure. Because when the Iceman melts, that's when the wave gods appear. I'm going to say it again. Because when the Iceman melts, that's when the wave gods appear. So Mami Wata is going to make America wavy again. Pay attention to the signs and symbols and pay attention to the algorithm. Because we are in the Aquarian age, ladies and gentlemen.
A fireball hurtling towards Earth. The cosmic spectacle just after 6:30 last night, captured on Dash and Home security cameras. Also by those who really did keep their eye on the ball, in this case, the wrong one.
There was a bit of reaction from some of the folks around me in the driving range, and it wasn't until I went back and had a look at the camera and you saw that I'd missed, once in a lifetime event.
The meteor spotted right across the state.
What we call a fireball or a bolide. So there was a piece of space rock that happened to pass through our atmosphere and give us a bright show.
This man on bin duty with a front row seat, along with his very puzzled pooch.
Look, I've never seen anything like it before.
Obviously, I've seen shooting stars before, but I didn't see a star. It just looked like, the whole of Sydney lit up.
Bolides or fireballs like this, more common than we think.
Several thousand times a day, quite astonishingly, but we really only see them sometimes when they're, one, happening at nighttime and happening over populated spaces.
One of the largest meteorites ever found on Earth in Australia. The Mundribilla meteorite was first discovered on the Nullarbor in 1911. Its two gigantic main fragments then found in 1966.
The biggest meteorite is about 12 tons.
While some slabs of the Mundribilla meteorite are as wide as 135 centimetres, last night's fireball is estimated to be just 20 to 30 centimetres in diameter, so around the size of a basketball.
If it survived the trip down and didn't fully get vaporised by the friction of the atmosphere, it may have landed somewhere.
I just hope it's, a sign from the universe that I'm going to play well this weekend.
Hayley Francis, 9 News.
What's up with these, man? Freaking meteors keep shooting down, bro. Or fireballs. That one happened in freaking Australia. Remember the ones that was happening earlier? Like this month? It was still dropping, man, like down in Ohio. Are they connected?
Actually insane, but does everybody obviously remember that comment that everybody was losing their minds over, 3i Atlas? They're now saying that Comet 3i Atlas is only 8 days away from a Jupiter flyby that could literally crack it open. So NASA just officially pointed not only just the James Webb Space Telescope, but also Hubble and multiple Mars spacecraft at 3i Atlas. And they just confirmed that the comet is actually carrying water ice from another star, and it behaves identically to ours. They're saying that it not only has the same molecular bonds, but the same chemistry, the same everything else in between. That may officially mean that the ingredients for life are not unique to our solar system. They're possibly everywhere. Now this is why the entire thing is about to get crazier, because on March the 16th, the comet is going to pass directly within 33 million miles of Jupiter. This will be a close enough pass for Jupiter's gravity to possibly fracture the nucleus and potentially crack it wide open, revealing what's actually inside the rock. NASA's Juno spacecraft is still orbiting Jupiter right now, and it might pass directly close enough to be able to capture the entire thing. So we're going to be able to see it. Guys, you need to make sure that you go ahead and add me on my page right now, because I'm going to post the moment and the very second that the results come in, whether they find something or not.
I don't think they did.
CIA wanted to recruit me when I was a younger child. My father told me before he passed. The CIA wanted to recruit you. He said something along those lines. He said he tried to protect me from them because I think that he was somehow involved.
At different times, I've been approached by elements of the U.S. government to be involved in things that were just way above my pay grade. I've never talked about them in any depth publicly. But I've had experiences where I would find myself in a room with people and think, why are they talking to me? It was something out of like Eyes Wide Shut. Really? Oh, yeah. And what did they say? Like, I'm not going to tell you.
In that clip, we can clearly hear Marilyn Manson talking about a certain three-letter agency trying to recruit him when he was a kid. Of course, he says he heard this from his dad, who he states he assumes also had involvement with that organization, but nobody finds that weird. Last but not least, we hear Billy Corgan, another famous singer, talking about being in certain intelligence rooms, we'll say, and he even compares some of the experiences to Eyes Wide Shut, which, if you know Eyes Wide Shut, you know that is a very concerning statement. The interviewer even asks him, to elaborate on what exactly he means by that, and he tightens his lips quickly and says, I'm not telling you that. Comment below with your thoughts. Am I onto something or am I tripping? Wake up.
Norwegian, don't eat the accused Norwegian salmon because it's poisonous.
Poisonous, they have lice.
And they will give you like years every second day. Yeah, lice.
Eat the whitefish, not salmon.
No, I never ate it. I never ate it.
Donald Trump and the governments are releasing fallen angel files, not UFO files. Do not fall for the bait. Everything is dealing with the Statue of Liberty, or I should say, the Whore of Babylon. The Whore of Babylon is known to ride the seven-headed beast. All you have to do is go to the Statue of Liberty head and count the horns. When you get done counting the horns, please go down to the Statue of Liberty feet. Look at the shackles. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. Remember the flood New York City just had? I'm going to come back. Donald Trump just showed up for the New York Giants. New York City is known as the Big Apple. The Big Apple represents the apple that Adam and Eve ate. This apple symbolizes knowledge, information, and wisdom. That's why teachers always have an apple on their desk. Something is not right. Watch out for New York City, the Big Apple. Go ask Trump, why did he show up for the New York Giants? They said the fallen angels are Nephilim, the Giants. New York City just had a flood. What did they say? God created a flood to wash away the Giants. Everything in this reality is symbolic. We are not dealing with UFOs. We are dealing with the Nephilim or the fallen angels. They are trying to say that it's in New York City. We don't have freedom. We have liberty. France is the country that gave United States the Statue of Liberty. Wembanyama is the giant that came from France. Remember New York City, thunder, storms. Right now, Wembanyama is playing OKC, the Thunder, the storm that washed away the Giants, the storm that washed away the New York Giants. Watch out for the Statue of Liberty. I will not be shocked if the New York Knicks is playing the San Antonio Spurs in the championship. The Giant is coming to New York City, the Big Apple. Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Remember that.
He called it. All right. New York versus the Spurs, man. We're going to see if that lines up, bro. New York, actually, they are in the finals, though, so. Interesting theory.
October 23rd, 1953, when my father acquired the Bigfoot, he said it was rushing towards them. He didn't know what it was. They thought it was a bear, so they protected themselves. After the smoke cleared, they realized it was not a bear. They decided to take it with them. The Bigfoot have been kept in freezers, so they're very desiccated. They don't weigh as much as they would, but they're still very heavy. I believe it is not a mammal. I don't believe it's from here. I believe it's an ET or it's interdimensional. I also believe that it's sent here by the gray aliens, and it's a biological recording device.
So this guy decides to get on the subway and flex $100,000 in cash. Let's look at this, and y'all let me know what y'all think. That's crazy. The only reason you still got that money in your hand is because them doors are still closed on that train. Number one, what's the point of you flexing $100,000 in cash? Number two, why do you have $100,000 in cash, but you're on the subway? I know some people are gonna say, okay, yeah, you in New York City, you can get around faster. Okay, no, sir. If I got to take the subway, I'm not about to have $100,000 in cash. Let alone if I have $100,000 in cash, I'm not taking the subway. I'm trying to tell you, that dude that I showed you on that picture, he wasn't the only one thinking what everybody else was thinking. Everybody else was thinking what he was thinking. Only thing that was saving dude was them doors being closed. Because as soon as they open, gone. I'm trying to tell you. You want to flex? Okay, I'm going to show you something. Y'all better stop playing, man, because everybody out here is not playing. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like and follow for more.
I already flexed $100,000, man. Like you said, what's the point of that, man? Are you doing that in the subway too? People don't know how to freaking move in silence, man. Nowadays, everybody just wants clout. Flexing $100,000 for what? Prove that doesn't make you hard or something like that. So I don't get the point of it. You just made yourself a target. You saw the way that guy was looking at him, bro. Like you said, you're lucky you was on the subway. Don't make yourself an easy target.
Worked with the Nordics. I talked with Nordics. They look like us. They can walk among us. I have transported Nordics to another location to change their feature for them to walk among us. I have seen their ships. I have entered into their ships and also into the military style back engineer type of ships. I have been to places that they're in charge. I've seen Greys, I've seen reptilians. Reptilians, they kind of look like their skin is like a, how can I put this? Like a cuttlefish. They have the ability to change colors and change the temperature of their skin, you know, but they also can change by changing the color spectrum of their face, they can look human. So it's kind of weird, but they can look human. All this is going to affect consciousness around the world. Right. The release of these is changing the consciousness. Yeah. 3 people out of 10 people are talking about ETs and UFOs now.
Nordic, I guess, is, now they say 7 feet, but now I heard a guy say now more 6 feet.
Yeah, more people are waking up.
There's something growing in Chernobyl. It's a black fungus. It's insane. This fungi is growing rapidly around anything that has radioactive material, and it's literally eating their radioactive material, absorbing it, and turning it into clean energy.
Hey!
So it's a good thing.
As far as we know. Claudiosporium sapphiracerium.
Nailed it.
But it contains melanin, like in our skin. Yeah. We've never witnessed anything like this in nature. They're saying of how creepy it is. They actually call it the reactor shadow, because it literally looks like a shadow coming from the reactor, but it's pitch black. Black fungi grows faster in higher radiation, repairs its own damage, DNA extremely well, and uses radiation for energy. So it's literally
feeding itself.
Yeah. NASA is now using it for experiments for potentially shielding spacecraft with this black fungi.
Whoa.
Because they've been testing it on the International Space Station, and it actually thrives in space.
No.
Okay, that's weird.
This is like the literal plot to like Alien.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
But they're talking about lining astronaut suits with this black fungi.
What's it do when it mixes with people, though? I mean, Last of Us.
So they're speculating that this is actually an ancient fungi, and at some point on Earth, where there was a giant meteor that hit and it ruined the ozone, that this fungi actually was flourishing. had actually brought the Earth back to its normal state because it absorbed all the radiation. This one.
Let's talk about one of the most haunted dolls in North America. Before I display him, I highly suggest you comment that you claim no negative energy in this video. Now, before I start, Robert, I respect you, and all I am doing is telling your story. In
respect
the late
Robert.
1800s, Thomas Otto and his family moved into a mansion, Key West, Florida. The Ottos were known to be stern with their servants, sometimes even mistreating them. There was a woman who was hired to take care of their son Robert, and one day Mrs. Otto supposedly witnessed her practicing black magic in their backyard and fired her. Before she left, the woman gave Robert a lifelike doll which stood 3 feet tall, had buttons for eyes, and human hair believed to be Robert's. Soon after, Robert chose to be referred by his middle name, Gene, after being scolded by his mother. He told her that Robert was the doll's name, not his. Gene was often heard in his toy room having conversations with Robert. Household objects would be found thrown across the room. Gene's toys turned up mutilated and giggling could be heard. Robert supposedly attacked people, sometimes locking them in the attic. One certain night, Robert was found at the foot of the owner's bed, giggling with a kitchen knife in hand. Robert was later moved to the East Martello Museum in Key West, where he sits perched in a glass box to this day. One employee cleaned Robert, turned off all the lights, and left for the night. The next day, he returned to find lights turned on and Robert sitting in a different position than the night before, and a fresh layer of dust on his shoes. Some say he'll even curse you. If you want to take a picture of him, you may ask politely. He'll tilt his head in permission. Now I just want to say again, Robert, I respect you, and I am just trying to tell more people about your story. Have you seen Robert in person? Have you ever had any experiences with him? Let me know in the comments.
Stay away from Robert, man. Looks like I have some bad energy.
SpongeBob night.
SpongeBob off.
Liam, come here. Liam, right now. What is it? Okay, I'm calling your mom. Just stay right here. Cheese. Cheese. What you doing? What you see?
Papa.
What you see? Who are you saying hi to? Who are you saying hi to? Dude, you need to stop that. You're freaking me out. Come on.
He said, hi, Papa, hi. I mean, you know, sometimes, like I said, kids, people be thinking they're talking to, like, that. I guess they imagine their friends or something like that. But what happens if, man, if they're really talking to, like, a spirit, or they be seeing spirits? That's an interesting thing I'm gonna propose to you guys. What do you guys think? Cooking on that one.
Spirits in my head and they won't go. I got guns in my head and they won't go. Spirits in my head and they won't go. I got guns in my head.
Classic.
And they won't go. Spirits in my head and they won't go. I got guns in my head and they won't go. Spirits in my head and they won't go. I got guns in my head and they won't go.
Don't ever stay up past midnight again, especially during a sleepover. This, my friends, is the Midnight Clown. Click the post, drop a like, tag a friend, share it through, or he might show up at your house tonight. He's an absolutely insane, vindictive clown, targeting kids who are having sleepovers. Kids being distracted, he ends up killing the parents. Then when the kids come downstairs to use the bathroom, they notice their parents. And then all of them are never seen again. And I actually just reacted to a video of people ordering a clown off the dark web. The first 100 people to click the link in my bio, subscribe, like, and comment on that video will get a shout out. Good luck, my friends.
You go to clowns off the dark web? That's news to me. What the hell is going on there? There's really a market for everything and anything, man. Who wants to buy a clown off the dark web of that? I had no idea. You know what that
some
is.
rare photos of fascinating people through history. This was Jacques Plante, the first goalie in hockey to ever wear a protective face mask in 1959, and I think you can see why. In 1964, Randy Gardner set the world record for the longest time without sleep, staying awake for 264 hours. The objects that are next to him were used to prove that he was still lucid. This was Maurice Tillet, a wrestler known as the French Angel. Some say he inspired Shrek, and he went undefeated for 18 months in the early 1940s. In 1907, this swimmer, Annette Kellerman, was arrested for indecency for wearing this exact bathing suit at Revere Beach in Massachusetts. This is Grumacia Gelgi, the world's tallest woman at just over 7 feet. This was Valentine Tapley, who vowed in 1860 to never cut his beard if Lincoln was elected. Here he is in 1896. He placed 5th in a world's longest beard competition. They had some long beards back then, apparently. Oh my goodness. This was Albert Woolson, the last surviving Civil War veteran. He fought for the Union Army and died in 1956 at 106 years old. This was Ham, the chimpanzee, the first ape launched into space. His mission tested cognitive function and safety. It was successful, and he actually returned unharmed. This was Charlotte and Marjorie Collier, a mother and daughter who survived the Titanic. Charlotte's husband and Marjorie's father, Harvey, died in the wreck, and they also lost their life savings of 5,000 pounds in cash.
These are human body parts that may disappear in the future. First up is body hair. Originally, it protected ancient humans from harsh weather conditions. However, over time, with modern clothes and changes in environmental conditions, human body hair has significantly decreased and continues to do so. Many scientists believe it might eventually completely disappear. Next are wisdom teeth. They used to serve an evolutionary purpose for ancient humans who had much rougher diets and needed more chewing power. But our diets have softened and our jaws have become increasingly smaller. As a result, they have no space to properly grow in, and many people need to have them surgically removed. Many babies are now being born without wisdom teeth, and scientists believe this will eventually be the standard. Finally, we have male nipples. Everyone starts as female in the womb, and before the Y chromosome kicks in for males, nipples have already formed. When the baby becomes male, the prolactin levels decrease, making the male nipples non-functional. So while it's debated, some scientists think they'll disappear. Rare people who
Got male nipples gonna disappear now, bro? Could you guys even imagine that, bro? Imagine that, man. That would look like nightmare fuel to me. I just can't even imagine that. That's freaking screwed up my mind. But we evolving. So I guess that's what comes with it.
Who are unique in the world. First, this 11-year-old Mexican girl has an IQ higher than Einstein's. Meet Adhara Perez. At just 11 years old, Adhara Perez Sanchez has an impressive record and an IQ that surpasses that of Einstein, as well as Stephen Hawking, whom she has always admired. Diagnosed with autism at the age of 3, Adhara started speaking late. Her teachers did not have high expectations for her future. However, thanks to her academic progress, she completed elementary school at the age of 5 and high school at 8. At 9 years old, she gave a lecture on black holes at an event organized by the Institute of Art and Culture of Mexico City, and published a book in which she shared her experience as a high-functioning autistic child, dedicated to children who suffer from the same condition as her. She has also been recognized by Forbes as one of the 100 most influential women in Mexico. Adhara is pursuing a master's degree in mathematical engineering at the Technological University of Mexico City. She is passionate about the cosmos and the stars. She dreams of joining NASA and participating in the exploration of the planet Mars. She also plans to design a connected bracelet capable of detecting emotions and preventing epileptic seizures.
This girl married
She
her
can accomplish all that and more.
while pregnant with her ex-husband's baby, and then proceeded to become the first empress of Rome. Meet Livia Drusilla, or simply Livia. Now let me explain. Livia was born in a very important family. She belonged to the patrician gens of the Claudi. She's still a child when Julius Caesar has his rise to power, and she's about 16 when he gets. At 17, her father marries her off to Tiberius Claudius Nero. At that time, we have Mark Antony and Octavian that are determined to A, vindicate Julius Caesar, and B, through that, gain power. So she marries Tiberius Claudius Nero, and as soon as she gets married, she sees him off to war. Why? Because at the time, we have Mark Antony and Octavian on one side, who are fighting against the people that Caesar, Brutus, and Cassius. Both Livia's father and Livia's husband fight with Brutus and Cassius against Octavian and Mark Antony. So her family, and probably herself, really hate this guy over here. Octavian wins. Brutus and Cassius get... Livia, in the meantime, has her first child. She's definitely not happy about the situation. Together with her husband, she's forced to flee Rome to avoid the recrimination of Octavian against his enemies. They go to Sicily, where her husband supports yet another of Octavian's opponents, Sextus Pompeius. After that, she's forced to move to Greece. So by now, she's probably like this, absolutely not amused, being like, this guy Octavian is literally ruining my life. She's never seen him, but she sure hates him. Eventually, an agreement is reached between Octavian and Sextus Pompeius. A general amnesty is announced. That means no recriminations of any sort. It means that Livia can finally return to Rome. And here's where the war movie turns into a rom-com. Because as soon as Octavian, the man that her husband has been fighting against all this while, sees her, he falls for her instantly. But there's a problem, she's married. And there's another problem, he's married as well. Follow for part 2.
There's a part 2 to that? What the heck? I was getting a good history lesson right there, man. Thinking about ancient Rome and all that. I've been watching like some of the Gladiator series that was by Stars. Some people call it like the first Game of Thrones. What is it called? It's called Spartacus, yeah. I just want to let you guys know that.
2025 just got even crazier. Part 17. The Statue of Liberty was a gift from France, if you didn't know. But in 2025, a French lawmaker came out and claimed they want the Statue of Liberty back and said, we gave it to you as a gift, but apparently you despise it. It will be just fine here at home. Now, people online saw this and said, we'll give the Statue of Liberty back, but in return, we get the Eiffel Tower. Oh my goodness. Next, when a delivery driver went to Starbucks to get hot tea, one of the hot venti-sized drinks fell onto the delivery driver's lap. Well, the man has now been awarded $50 million in damages from Starbucks because of the burns from the drink. America has a new...
Freaking fit. Could you guys imagine burns on that nigga damn legs like that? What the heck is going on? How can someone just spill that, man? At least you got justice, bro. $50 million. You got his justice.
Gun, and it's one that uses facial recognition and fingerprint scanners. It's called the BioFire Smart Gun. It's the first to actually hit the market, and it's more controversial than you think. You see, to try and push for more firearm safety, this gun only works when its registered owner scans their face or their fingerprint, and the gun locks and becomes unusable as soon as it leaves their hand. It's also trickier to build one of these than you think, because it's not just a gun with a fingerprint scanner slapped on the top. It's actually the first gun ever to not rely on a physical trigger mechanism, but rather it sends an electrical signal to fire the bullet, and it can only get that signal if it's in the owner's hands. But also because of that, it's roughly twice the price at $1,500. Gun control advocates think it's a great idea, saying at least it can't be used in the wrong hands like a child or a criminal. But some firearm enthusiasts, not so keen. They fear that this technology could malfunction when you need it the most, or could be used as a slippery slope for more gun control laws over time. The question is, what do you guys think? Is this the gun that America needs, or not? This is the disturbing truth behind Home Alone. Okay, so we all know and love the movie Home Alone. But did you know the disturbing truth behind it? So, Kevin McAllister grows up to be Jigsaw in the Saw franchise. If you think about it, the traps that Kevin made in Home Alone were extremely sophisticated and advanced, especially for a kid. So, as he got older, his traps became way more brutal, twisted, and complex as an adult. So, Kevin McAllister is actually Jigsaw, and he fell in love putting people in traps ever since the robbers tried to rob his house.
Okay, that one was kind of at my mind turning because I can kind of see that we know it's a theory, man, but you know, like I said, Jigsaw Saw, he loves his traps, man. Home Alone Kevin, he loves his traps also, man. So I definitely see some of the similarities between those two men, but I think that theory is kind of out there. And didn't they just announce like a couple of days ago that they're not making a new Saw movie, like it got canceled. So I don't know, man. That theory is kind of hard for me to get on, but I can see the similarities, though. Maybe he got inspired by him, man.
Top 3 strangest ways that people have died. Most people know what a Segway is. They came out just under 20 years ago, and they're basically a giant hoverboard with handles. And in 2009, a man bought Segway Inc. and became the CEO. And unfortunately, just 1 year later, in 2010, he fell off a cliff while on his own Segway while demonstrating its safety procedures. Coming in at number 2, we have the execution of George, the Duke of Clarence. He was the brother of 2 English kings and was sentenced to death in 1478. However, his only request for his execution is that he was to be drowned by a barrel of wine, which goes to show just how much he loved his drinks. And at number 1, the strangest way that somebody has ever died happened in 2013. In the middle of the night, a Brazilian man was fast asleep when a cow fell through his roof and crushed him. And apparently, according to local media of the town, this is the 3rd time that this has happened. Weird.
Cows falling from the sky?
Report at the hospital, there were several missed opportunities where the consultants went to, in some form or another, a meeting, an email, a conversation where they were raising these concerns.
Arguably 15, 20 times they went to managers and flagged their concerns. And not only were they being dismissed, these external reports were being established that were, never going to get to the bottom of why the children were unexpectedly collapsing and dying. We know that now with hindsight. But they were also, by the end, being victimised, bullied. The doctors were actually looking for new jobs. Some of them, their mental health, really suffered because they felt this burden. Should we as individuals have gone to the police early?
This is one of the heartbreaking true stories that likely inspired adolescents. When actor and writer Stephen Graham was asked about stories that inspired the show, he said, "Where it came from for me is there was an incident in Liverpool, a young girl, she was unalived to death by a young boy, and I just thought, why?" It's being reported that he was likely referring to the high-profile case of Ava White. Ava White was an innocent 12-year-old girl who lost her life after attending a Christmas light switch on in Liverpool city centre. She was reportedly approached by a group of teenage boys, and a verbal argument broke out after one of the boys apparently filmed her without her permission and put the video on Snapchat. After Ava asked for the video to be removed from Snapchat, one of the boys, who was aged 14 at the time, unalived her with a knife. I'm sorry I have to use this strange lingo on TikTok, I just don't want to have the video flagged. The schoolboys were all questioned by police, but ultimately it was decided that one of the boys, a 14-year-old, was guilty of taking her life. The young boy who was found guilty of taking Ava's life was sentenced to a minimum of 13 years. One of the similarities between adolescence and this heartbreaking true story is that the boy that was found guilty actually maintained that he was innocent right up until the end. But it wasn't just this story alone that inspired the show. Stephen Graham also said there's a number of stories he's seen on the news about young boys being violent towards young girls that did inspire the story. He also specifically mentions the case of Brianna Gay, who was lured into a park by 2 teenagers and unalived. He said, "I just thought, what's going on and what is happening?"
Facts that might save your life one day. Alright, so if a person you don't know shows up to your house and asks for help in the middle of the night, do not open the door, especially if you're a girl alone, because human traffickers tend to use these tactics to lure girls outside. So just make sure all your doors are locked and call the police straight away. Next, if you ever feel like something bad is about to happen, trust your guts and just leave, because in most cases you might be right. Now, if you're ever involved in a plane crash and it crashes in the ocean, whatever you do, do not inflate your life jacket. Instead, wait until you're outside the plane, because if you inflate it while you're inside, you could get trapped inside as the water level rises. And finally, if you were ever to go homeless during winter, do not sleep on the ground, because people have literally frozen to death that way. Instead, try to find some cardboard pieces and sleep on that, because the ground itself absorbs way more heat than cardboard.
We learning. Those are some interesting facts, man. Especially while on the plane about not having, a life jacket. I didn't even know something like that could happen. You could get trapped in there by the water. Fun fact, I still have never flown on a plane before. And what's going on now? I don't think I will anytime soon. Get all out of you guys, man.
This video will keep you up at night. A man was working as a security guard at a warehouse during his night shift, and he began to feel a little creeped out when weird things started going on in the warehouse around him. He was the only one in the warehouse, and it was about 2:30 in the morning. So he brought out his phone in hopes to catch something unexplainable on camera. At first, the video he took seems pretty normal. There's absolutely nothing weird going on. But when he pans over to the food he brought, the apple moves on its own. He goes to reach for his apple, but right when he does this, the cup on his desk seemingly moves on its own. The man is obviously pretty frightened by this and doesn't know how to react. But when he goes to grab the cup, it again moves on its own away from his hand. Many people believe that this is staged, however, it looks pretty real. What do you guys think?
Here are some accidents that changed the world forever. A scientist left a dirty Petri dish on his desk, came back days later, and then realized the mold inside had just killed bacteria, accidentally discovering antibiotics. A radar engineer felt a strange heat in his pocket, looked down and saw that his chocolate bar was melting. He had just invented the microwave. A chemist trying to make a super strong glue ended up with one so weak it barely stuck. But years later, that failure became Post-it notes. A naval engineer dropped a metal spring, watched it bounce perfectly down a flight of stairs, and turned that mistake into the Slinky. A physicist experimenting with electricity saw his own bones glowing through his hand, and before he even knew what it was, he had discovered X-rays. A man pulled burrs off his dog's fur, realized nature had built the perfect hook and loop system, and turned it into Velcro. A scientist building a heart monitor grabbed the wrong part, made the circuit pulse, and unknowingly created the first pacemaker. An ice cream vendor ran out of cups, spotted a waffle maker next to him, and rolled one into a cone, changing ice cream forever. Two astronomers kept hearing annoying static in their telescope, thought it was bird poop, and accidentally found proof of the Big Bang. A company selling wallpaper cleaner was going bankrupt until they realized kids were playing with it, so they rebranded it as Play-Doh. A scientist knocked a coated glass flask onto the floor, watched it crack but not shatter, and accidentally invented safety glass. A chemist absorbed an experimental chemical through his skin, started hallucinating, and unknowingly discovered LSD. This is the scariest.
The LSD world, man. Imagine that never would have happened, man. I didn't realize so many of the greatest inventions, man, they came from this freak accidents or failures, and people just picked up with some of those ideas and just kept going. Goes to show you, man, there's success even in failures. Just gotta learn from them.
Story about the school trip. An entire class of 6th graders went on a school trip one day. Everybody was taking pictures with their phones and cameras and having such a great time. But when they all got back to school, they started looking through all the photos they took, when suddenly one of the girls screamed, "Oh my God, what is that?" In the picture, one of the boys in the class was sitting on the bus, and nothing seemed strange about the photo until you looked at his reflection in the window. His face in the reflection looked like it was yellow and bulging. And completely mutating, also there was a white floating figure behind him in the reflection. Everybody turned the photo upside down and realized it was a human skull, and it was horrific. And when the boy saw the photo of himself, he immediately burst into tears and had a panic attack. The teacher then took the boy to the nurse's office, and the principal banned everybody from speaking about the strange photo ever again. And to make this even scarier, 7 days later, the boy died from a brain tumor. The photo is said to be on the internet somewhere, but I don't recommend looking for it.
Can someone explain to me what happened to these trucks? Would you rather live here with unlimited food and no internet, or date the third person who appears when you click share and then more? This is supposedly footage of an alien abduction caught on CCTV.
Check it out. Just vanished. What the heck? Just plopped them back down.
Question time. How old would you be if your age was flipped backwards? Let me know down below. Should this family get rid of this doll or not?
It's what happens whenever I put her near my daughter's old Cabbage Patch doll. But that's not the weirdest part. There's no batteries.
What the hell's going on?
But wait, there's more. I even cut the wire to see if that would stop it. Is she causing this?
Yeah. You know we don't do those over here, man. House opera with no bed and he cut the wires? I don't know if that's staged or not, man. That was eerie. You know what that is.
Last month, 3 suitcases were discovered in Florida with human remains inside, and now a man has been arrested for his wife's murder. On July 21st, police in Delray Beach, Florida found a suitcase in the Intercoastal Waterway after someone called 911 to report something strange they saw in the waterway. This discovery, police found 2 more suitcases nearby, and the next day found 2 additional bags. Inside the suitcases and bags were human remains of a woman only described at the time as, quote, a white or Hispanic middle-aged woman with brown hair, approximately 5'4". The investigation into these suitcases led police to surveillance footage that then led them to a suspect. Multiple witnesses told detectives about a vehicle and person who was seen in the area multiple times before the suitcases were found. A couple who lived near where the suitcases were discovered told detectives they saw a white male looking into the Intercoastal Waterway several days before July 21st, the day the suitcase was found. They said he appeared to be looking for something, presumably the suitcase, and they saw him 5 to 6 times over a 3-day period before the 21st. When confronted by the couple, the man said he was waiting for the big boat to come into the harbor. Another group of witnesses who were working on a roof at a property next to where the 3rd suitcase was found said that they saw the same man standing on the seawall looking at the suitcase before he got into his car and left. Video surveillance in the area captured a vehicle tag that led them to their suspect, Delray Beach resident William Lowe, and he had a wife that matched the name that came back from an airline scan code on one of the suitcases. Adil Barbosa Fontes matched the brief description of the remains found in the suitcase, and she shared the same address as Lowe. This led police to acquire a search warrant for the home of 78-year-old Lowe. In searching his home, police found blood spatter throughout the residence, including in the living room, dining room, and primary bathroom. There were also drag marks observed throughout the home, and cleaning supplies that contained blood splatter were found as well. While they were executing the search warrant, detectives said that Lowe attempted to re-enter through the back window, and when he was stopped, he just said he was trying to get his phone and the keys to his storage unit. The search of that storage unit uncovered a chainsaw that appeared to have blood and human hair on it. After all of this, Lowe was arrested on July 31st. During questioning, he reportedly said that his wife Adil had been in Brazil for about 3 weeks. But when questioned further about her trip, he did not know how she got to the airport, what airline she flew on, or the last time he spoke to her. When shown photos of the suitcases, Lowe reportedly said he had never seen them before. But police knew at least one of them belonged to his wife because of the airline tag that had her name connected to it. And when they asked Lowe about this, he just said, "I don't know." Day after Lowe's arrest, the victim found in the suitcases was positively identified through dental records as Adil Barbosa Fontes. ME declared the manner of death to be homicide and the cause of death to be a gunshot wound to the head. The next day, Lowe was charged with first-degree murder and abuse of a dead body. He was denied bail and he has not yet entered a plea, so he remains in prison until his next hearing. Hopefully, he will have to pay for what he did. Rest in peace, Adil.
Chilling story. I don't know how a husband could do that to his own wife. You see some creepy clowns? You guys remember that creepy clown trend, man, on YouTube? That was a freaking time, bro. You risk your life in these streets, man, trying to dress up as a clown. It ain't worth it, man. These clowns are freaking eerie, bro.
Washington passed away in 1799, and she's currently 116 years old. The 1900s were a pretty long time ago, though, to be born in, right? Am I 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 right? Japan's cybersecurity minister in 2018 made headlines when he admitted he had never used a computer, even though he was responsible for the country's cybersecurity. Bill Gates' daughter said that she was not allowed to use the last name Gates until high school because Melinda wanted them to be raised with middle-class values. A Dallas Christian high school fired its basketball coach after winning a game 100-0 because the school said it was such a blowout that it was not Christ-like and honorable. What can you do? They didn't score at all. My name is Adorian, and that's what I learned today. Follow me to learn something new tomorrow.
I'm truly sorry if this ruins your... But I want you to think for a second about all of the craziest conspiracy theories that you can come up with about intelligence agencies and what they're capable of. Like, I'm talking like, they're watching me through the TV kind of conspiracy theories, because it is that. And it's worse. In 2017, there was a massive leak out of the CIA that the agency now calls the Vault 7 disclosures, and we found out that not only can they basically intercept any communication at any time, they can hack into your smart TV and listen to you even when it's off. They can also take over your car using its embedded computer and do whatever they want with it. Drive it off a bridge, drive it into a tree. They could make you disappear, and to the rest of the world it would look like a mysterious accident. There wasn't a lot of reporting in 2017 about the specifics of what was in the Vault 7 disclosures, and there's a good reason for that. But this is just what we know they can do using 2017 technology. That was 8 years ago. It was before TikTok, before AI, before the second Trump presidency, before they were openly, publicly discussing targeting political dissidents with the power of the state. So when people try to tell you, oh, the CIA can't do this, or Mossad can't do this, yes, they fucking can.
Bro, Tom Brady. Did you see what he did?
No. Cloned his dog?
Even, bro, watch. This is the worst one. I didn't even post about it yet. Tom Brady, one glove. This is on Sunday night, dude.
Why did you do it? That's O.J. Simpson. But this is O.J. Simpson stuff.
One glove. Who's playing? You know who's playing behind him?
No.
The Buffalo Bills. That's who O.J. Simpson played for his whole career. Except 1 year. Bro, the Bills are playing Sunday night. He's the announcer. He's so in the game, Tom Brady. It's ridiculous. He for sure is not human.
Bro, but how can you be a 45-year-old and be the best quarterback in the league?
No, dude, you can't.
It's impossible. 45-year-old, bro. And he's not big.
Paul, I'll tell you what. Now that I see all this stuff, like when he throws the ball, they don't try to tackle him. They don't, they're rushing him. They don't try to tackle him. The guys are so open, and then when he catches the ball, they make believe they're trying to. But of course, I could do the same thing.
That's why Tom Brady was the GOAT, bro. He said people would willingly let him, bro, just throw that pass. I didn't see that thing with the glove, man, when the Bills played. I'm going to have to check that out. I'm going to have to rewind the game tape of Tom Brady. He does the reporting on the games. But was that a coincidence? Or was that something else, man? That's crazy, though, putting 2 and 2 together. I didn't even notice that until now. Wow, they're huge. They're like giants, bro. Tell me they don't look like giants. They said they were the Patov royal family. That's where they're at currently, I think. It wasn't the sun.
So I be telling people, I said, that's Bill Clinton's son. He's a Crip from Little Rock, Arkansas. But that's my homeboy.
So everyone knew in Arkansas who Danny was. And
everybody know Danny. Everybody know that's Bill Clinton's son. I fuck with Danny though. He a good nigga.
Yeah, he seems nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he just wants like the truth to be told. He just wants the DNA test to be done. And I mean, he looked just like that.
Man, that nigga looked just like Bill. And Bill used to live in the middle of Little Rock, right there by goddamn East Safeway. Yeah.
Damn.
I believe it. When I seen him, I said, God, when they introduced me, they said, that's Bill Clinton's son. A nigga turned around, I said, God damn. Sure is.
Year 2026, what a time to be alive.
Matter of fact, ain't Black History Month coming up soon? It's around the corner. Yeah, that's right. We got to see Idol 22 get the pause put on him. We never thought we'd see this day. But shout out to Idol 22 for even getting in the ring. You can't say he's scary, he did it. But yeah, we needed to see this, y'all. This a W for us.
Damn.
W, boys, W. From the grave, y'all. Let's go. 2026, man. Can't believe it. From the grave. Shit is crazy.
Oh, he tapped out, bro. That's crazy, man. Adam 22 versus Freak Edition Love, bro. This whole situation with them going on, bro. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole, man. Y'all gonna have to find out for yourselves why the fight even happened in the first place, man. But let me just say, the fact that he lost, bro, and he just gave up. Well, he didn't give up. He got into the ring. He, I guess, stood his ground, but it wasn't enough, man. That's insane.
Emo?
Holes, bro. That's the movie. That's where it's from.
Oh, no.
Your DNA, 6665. Do I have your attention yet?
You gotta see this.
What in the world? If you are monitoring spirit, I rebuke you now in the name of Jesus.
Amen. Oh, amen.
Notice how it didn't leave until she said Jesus. And did you notice how the baby even calmed down at the name of Jesus? Hallelujah and amen. Follow or subscribe for more videos like this.
Hey, fool. Stop playing, bro. This is not Kai, right? This is not real, right?
Can't be.
Don't tell me that this is really fucking Kai, bro. This man really posed in all these pictures and took them. Fool, this gotta be AI, right? This AI.
Yeah.
But if it ain't AI, they got this man. I didn't want to believe it. But if this is real, what I was believing is real too. People don't know. A lot of times it always start with the fashion too. Once you start dabbling into little shit like this, there's nothing you won't do. It's crazy how he picked that name, The Vet. When now he one of their pets. They finna take his ass to the clinic. He about to put on a clinic. Ooh, this ain't it, guy. And is that motherfucking nail polish? Oh, hell no. They done made this man put on nail polish. A dress is coming soon.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was AI, man. That, because I'm about to say, the reason why I say AI, because I'm pretty sure Kai's brand, Bavit brand, it's not even done yet. He's still in the, like, stages of making it, man. You saw his video I quit. He was still in the stage of, like, he went to Italy to see all the leathers and stuff, learning basically how to do them himself. So you said Bavit, like, brand collection, that has to be Kai, yeah, because it's not even done yet, bro. Kai, he's not even done yet. So I'm gonna have to call that. I'm gonna have to debunk that one.
If you're on TikTok and you didn't block Oracle the first time we told you to, head on over and block Oracle right now. Well, if you haven't heard, TikTok has officially been sold, and Oracle will be playing a very big part in it. And one thing is for sure, the algorithm that we all enjoy will be changing. And right now, we're uncertain if it's going to be changing for the better or for the worst. But one thing is for sure, it will be changing. And for those of you that have posted videos complaining about all the community guideline violations and video suppression, do you think it's actually going to get better, or do you think it's actually going to get worse under new management? And the other question that is lingering on everyone's mind, will they keep the same app, or will they update it? Will they change it? What is going to happen with TikTok as we know it? And one thing we can be sure of, there will definitely be some type of changes, whether it be right now or in the future. But as always, you can follow me on the gram, TheJoeD69. Follow me there. I'm on YouTube as well, the same thing. Keep in touch just in case. So once again, if they do end up keeping TikTok as it is, there will be some changes. And some of us may like it and some of us may not. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Hey, yo. I think TikTok is still down, right? It's been down for like 2 days now, bro. Like when people try to post certain things, there's like it's getting censored, or I heard they're posting it and it's like stuck at like 0 views. So when they sold when they sold TikTok to Oracle, you guys know the whole algorithm changed. Everything's probably different. I heard there's whole new terms of agreements that you have to accept. I never seen that popped up on my TikTok yet, but I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, like I said, bro. Ever tried to use TikTok, man? That joint, bro. They're cooked. And I remember heard some people's monetization features got taken away. I think they said it came back, man. But they saying it's because of the storm. It took down some of the data centers. But I don't know, man. Tell me down below, man, if you guys think this TikTok, when they sold TikTok, is this changed for the good? Or it's going to be getting even worse, bro?
Well, check this shit out.
Do not look away from the symbol. You drew this in middle school. I drew this. We all did. But ask yourself one question. Who taught you how to draw it? It wasn't a teacher. It wasn't in a textbook. It wasn't on TV. And there was no internet to spread it. Yet somehow, this specific shape appeared in every single classroom on Earth at the exact same time. You probably called it the Superman S or the Stussy S, but look closer. Neither of those brands ever used this symbol. Those were false memories implanted to make you feel safe. This was actually the Universal S protocol, a global experiment in analog viral marketing designed to test how fast a single geometric instruction could infect the collective unconscious. Think about the sensation of drawing it, the 6 vertical pillars, the diagonal cross. It felt strangely satisfying, didn't it? That satisfaction was the trap. You weren't doodling, you were closing the circuit. It's 2 parallel sets of vertical bars that never actually touch, a broken infinity loop designed to trap your focus in the margins of your notebook. They weren't testing your artistic ability, they were calibrating your compliance to a grid. The experiment was a success. We all learned the code without ever being told. If you have this symbol in your old notebooks, you didn't create it. You were the entity.
Like that, I guess. You just put it in the water and then it starts to float.
No
So
way.
you telling me that after 21 years of going to school and learning about science and physics, that if I turn this water on, if I put an egg in it, it's just gonna float? Ain't no way this is gonna work. But we finna find out.
Okay. Here we go. You building out a
Now
science
we got the
lab out here.
egg. The water is still running. Now let's see if this thing gonna float.
Egg versus gravity. Who's gonna win?
What the hell? What? Yo,
No.
what? Oh my god.
They never taught me this.
What?
The science class.
Every single Saudi Arabian player is now being given a Rolls-Royce each as a reward for winning their historic match against Argentina. The gift is courtesy of Saudi Arabian Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who will be buying them a $1.3 million Rolls-Royce Phantom each. The question is, what would they be given if they won the World Cup?
Margot Robbie just said that she basically fell in love with Jacob Elordi while they were filming the new movie Wuthering Heights. And what's even more insane is that Margot Robbie quite literally has a husband. Margot Robbie's husband is literally a producer on this movie and was most likely on set during this. Margot Robbie said that Jacob Elordi picked her up with only one arm and it made her weak in the knees as she let out a dramatic sigh. But this is where it gets even more worse. Margot Robbie also mentioned in the interview that she became codependent on Jacob Elordi, and she said that anytime they were together on set, she would try to find him because without him, she felt like a child without her blanket. And for Margot Robbie's husband, how is he doing this? Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi are doing photo shoots where they look like this. This would absolutely destroy me. I need to know for this scene, was her husband sitting somewhere watching this scene go happen? Must take a very secure man to be married to Margot Robbie. Honestly, if I was her husband, I could get past what she was doing in the movie. It's literally her job. But the comments that she's making in these interviews is even more concerning her. If you were her husband, would you watch this movie?
Would you, Seekers, man? I don't know. People be saying that's part of like a Hollywood freaking, ritual humiliation joint. But man, when I heard those comments, I was just shocked. Hey, her freaking husband's a producer on the movie. He knows what's going on, like I said. So, he's a very secure man.
I told you that this was going to happen, and damn it, has it happened, that radiation fog. Yeah, that radiation fog that was in California that was being produced by the Ring of Fire, it has kicked its way and swept the South. You understand? Not only has it swept the South, you got South Carolina, you got Mississippi, but it hit Alabama where your girl resides. Okay, and with this fog came a slew of symptoms. Not only is it causing headaches, it's causing nausea, it is a serious funk that comes with this fog. And people all in airlines have been complaining about it. But not only that, but the animals are even feeling the effects. Even the animals are feeling the effects. And it's no coincidence that where this radioactive fog has appeared, these crazy weather phenomena start happening. It's just coincidental, but we can go to the clips.
Look, see outside, we got Alabama and Georgia being your representatives from the southeast this morning. Dense fog advisory is up through mid-morning, so, the next couple hours is the most crucial.
Are you filming the road? Yeah. Why? Because we don't have this at all.
If you know, Alabama doesn't get fog. It's not a thing here. And if you don't believe me, let's go to some other state.
Hey, fog travels, bro. Y'all are crazy.
Now remember how the Ring of Fire is active, right? Which is a bunch of super volcanoes, underwater, all type, just active, popping it off right now. But then you also got Yellowstone getting active, right? Hell, it's a clip.
Take a look at this. A huge muddy eruption caught on camera at Yellowstone's Black Diamond Pool.
The Ring of Fire just woke up and everything around it is cracking open. In the last 2 days, volcanoes have started erupting again from Indonesia to Japan, and the seafloor near Chile has begun to shake like a heartbeat. Off Japan's Iwate coast, a 6.9 earthquake hit this week, the strongest in the region.
You're the Flaming Horse, 2026. Not even a full month in. And this is how you give it? Okay, cool. All right.
This looks like an old engineering poster from the 1980s. Strange blueprints, futuristic buildings, projects that were never meant to exist. But one structure here isn't a concept. It's real. AT&T Long Lines building. I opened Google Earth and flew over New York City, a city of glass towers, lights, reflections, symbols of transparency. And then, hidden among them, I noticed something wrong. A massive concrete block. No windows. No signs. No reflections. It doesn't look like it belongs here. It doesn't look like it belongs anywhere. This is 33 Thomas Street. Built during the Cold War. Designed to survive disasters. Completely sealed from the outside world. Some say it was more than just a communications hub. Street view makes it even more disturbing. Cold concrete walls, deep unnatural shadows, not a single normal window. It feels less like a building, and more like a fortress. And the scariest part? Millions of people walk past it every day, without ever asking why this building was designed to never look back at the city.
I don't know how people have the courage to live in the Appalachian Mountains, but I will never. Anytime I see a video about the Appalachian Mountains, whenever I go to sleep, this shit always pops up in my dream. That's how I know that shit is evil. I just saw a video of a lady that lives in the Appalachian Mountains. Her and her daughter were scared out of their minds. Now, mind you, her daughter is downstairs by herself. She keeps hearing a voice scream her name. Now, if you know anything about the Appalachian Mountains, you know when you hear a voice, if you hear a voice, you are not supposed to answer that voice. If you are inside and you hear that voice, you are not supposed to open your door to that voice. So the voice keeps on screaming. Then the voice changes into the girl's father's voice. Now you just hear what I just said, right? The voice she heard was her father's voice. She ran upstairs and told her mom. Her mom, panicking, calls the father on the phone.
A mimic.
She's on the phone with the father. While she's on the phone with the father, she hears the same exact voice. And then out of nowhere, she heard footsteps coming up her stairs. Running up her stairs. So the father, who's on the phone, is like, yo, listen, I'm on my way home. Stay in the room. Do not come out the room.
Smart.
This lady recorded this video where something was banging on the door. Banging. When I say banging, I mean banging. Boom, 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 boom on the door. I might have to start a series on this shit because this shit is the scariest shit I could have ever seen. These Appalachian Mountain stories are the scariest stories I could have ever heard. I don't understand why people live there. I don't understand how people live there.
Me either.
But I would never. I'm out.
Oh. So you're telling me that this whole time I've been sleeping on a mattress when I should have been sleeping on the floor? And if I continue to sleep on my bed, my back will shut down on me indefinitely? You motherfuckers. When was y'all gonna tell us, huh? For how long have y'all been keeping these secrets?
All my life.
So according to Vastu Sastra, this is what we supposed to be sleeping on. That explains all of the problems we have been having lately. This explains the tossing and turning. My body can't perfectly align itself on this mattress.
So to everybody that loves snow and they love ice and they love snowy days, making snowman, and they think winter is real, please explain this over here. Why is the snow only getting on the road but not on the grass? I want to know the science behind this. Yeah, I really want to know, because the other day I noticed this. Just last week, it was like 37 degrees in Florida. Today, it got up to 81. How is this possible? And then tomorrow is going to be 38 again. How is this possible? If winter is real and they're not forcing it, how is this possible? Winter is a spell, y'all. This is a spell. I'm telling you, it's because of that, the dragon. Let's go.
So, I want you to notice the bullshit. Why the grass not covered like the ground?
It's not covered.
Because the earth is still too warm. Naturally. They force it. When I get a little bit, it's not covering like the ground is covering. What making the grass so special? Because it's fucking real.
Normally that's what get covered first.
It get dusted first. Look at it.
It's not even sticking to the tree.
It ain't sticking.
Yeah. Y'all know how, especially up in the north, y'all know exactly.
Why is that?
Yes. Okay.
Keep being fooled.
Mount Adams, fire tower.
Everything over there is frozen. Snow. Interesting. It's ice. Frozen overnight. Got fake snow, bro, in the big 2026. Oh, that snowstorm hit that. Why would you do that? God damn, it looks like that damn movie, remember, where like everything was frozen? I forgot what the movie's called, man, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
Kid exists. Arya Pramana weighs over 400 pounds. His family says he doesn't do anything but eat and sleep. His mom says she wanted to find a medical reason why he looked like that. But it turns out Arya was just eating 2 plates 5 times a day. Before I continue, I know an app just like TikTok just in case it gets banned. Link is in my bio. Araya's family has put him on a strict diet ever since. And it's actually working.
I still can't get over the fact that this woman was released from prison after she drugged her little sister, gave her to her husband so he could execute her and take her life. Paul Bernardo and Karla Homolka were called the Barbie and Ken Killers and committed one of the most horrific crimes together. They tortured and took the lives of these 3 innocent young teens in the early 90s. 15-year-old Kristen French was one of their victims. She was abducted in a church parking lot while Karla pretended to ask her for directions. Paul forced her into their car. In another case, 14-year-old Leslie Mahaffey was abducted while she waited outside of her house. This was Karla's younger sister, Tammy, and one day Paul told Karla that he wanted her, so she tricked her sister and gave her to Paul to do whatever he wants with her. The girls were tortured for days and disgusting things were done to them while they videotaped everything. Together, they dismembered their bodies and then threw them in a lake. Now, while Paul got life in prison, Karla was able to walk free after 12 years. But not only that, after her release, she changed her name and she was caught working at a private elementary school in Montreal. Her job was to supervise kindergarten students, and when their parents found out, they were pissed off. And I don't blame them because I wouldn't want this person looking after my children either. This was one of the biggest cases in the world, especially in Canada, because of how disturbing their crimes were. People are still confused on how Karla was able to get such a good deal while Paul was denied parole 3 times and will most likely spend the rest of his life in prison.
Here are some kids' toys that got banned for being too dangerous. This toy, called a Jibba Jabber. The object of this toy was to beat it up. It was pulled from the shelves after being linked to making kids want to strangle each other. Pokemon and Burger King partnered up and made these tiny keychain Pokeballs with no holes in it for like a child to breathe that might try to eat the toy, because that's what kids do. They just eat tiny things. Kids fucking died from these. Moon shoes were like these half buckets with rubber bands and Velcro to keep your feet attached to them. And it was capable of launching a child like feet into the air. So many kids broke their ankles and cracked their skulls because of these. I remember I got them for Christmas and then my parents immediately took them away. This Quick Click Polly Pocket set were tiny pieces of plastic with magnets embedded into them. Sounds yummy. Definitely not like we're taking a trip to the hospital.
Those kids, man. With those toys, I didn't even know about the moon shoes. I think I remember seeing them. All those discontinued toys, man. It goes to show you, man. When people think there's money involved, man, they really don't think about the safety, man. The kids of their product.
Wholesome facts that'll make your day slightly better. Part 2. If you've already made it to the airport without dying, you shouldn't be nervous about flying because you've already made it through the deadliest part of plane travel. Whenever you pet an animal, it actually lowers your cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone. Side note, this may not work on electric eels, porcupines, or anything that could decimate you in 2 seconds.
You think?
Because guinea pigs get lonely, it's actually illegal in Switzerland to own just one. You have to get at least 2 if you want to have any at all. Sometimes tarantulas will keep tiny frogs as pets. The frogs will eat small insects that would typically eat the tarantula eggs, and in exchange, the frog gets a pretty damn good bodyguard. Capybara Land is a place in Japan where you can quite literally hang out with capybaras and see them chilling in hot springs. If 99% of the world's population finds you unattractive, that would mean that 78 million people still find you attractive.
Ants can live a really long time. Like, way longer than I thought. Your normal everyday ant can live like 4 to 15 years. And there have been queens on record living up to 28 years. Next time I have to step on an ant, I'm really going to be like mourning their whole ass life. This is the hognose snake, and when it feels threatened, it'll puff itself up and hiss at you. But if that doesn't work, it'll flip itself over and play dead. And if you take the snake and flip it from its back to its belly, it'll just flip itself back over. Like, no, I'm supposed to be dead. Penguins are able to drink salt water like it's fresh water because they have this gland behind their eyes that actually filters their blood and allows them to sneeze the salt out. Now, I'm not saying that we need to hire a bunch of penguins to save the world or whatever, but it's an option.
Happy feet domination,
the rarest things in the world. Rarest animal, vaquita, only 10 left in the wild.
Rarest gem on Earth, Painite, worth $60,000 per carat. Rarest poker hand, the Royal Flush, 1 in 655,000 chance. Rarest element on Earth, Astatine, less than 1 gram on Earth exists. Rarest car, Ferrari 250, Gran Turismo.
These are some of the most terrifying illnesses that you could get tomorrow.
Giants caught on tape, part 1. People used to tell stories about ancient giants who used to walk around the earth with humans. Some people say they lived with us as friends, and some say they ate us. These giants were called Nephilim, mentioned in the Bible. This is supposed to be a picture in 1890 of one of them. And yes, this is real footage of him walking around Japan in a parade. Look how big he is compared to all the little people. Even the horses. Look at him towering over everybody. How much did this guy need to eat to be full? So what do you guys think? Is this fake? Or are they real, hiding in places we'll just never be able to find? I got more giant.
Think giants are out there, man? Maybe back in the day, I guess they were like so tall, people considered them giants. I guess that's my only explanation to explain that.
Footage, so like this video for a part 2.
Crazy facts about cigarettes. 1 cigarette can reduce your lifespan up to 11 minutes. Out of 10 smokers, 9 started before age 18. A smoker's life expectancy is 10 years less than a non-smoker. When a cigarette is burned, 7,000 chemicals are activated. Nauru has the highest smoking rate at 52%.
Imagine
Don't smoke.
finding a box that someone chained shut and threw into the ocean. Curious about what could be inside it, you take the box home and leave it in your shed. But as you're having dinner, you hear noises outside your front door. And when you open the door to check, you see that the box is somehow right there. Who's out there, you yell, thinking someone must have taken it from the shed and dropped it at your front door. You bring the box inside and put it on your table, and that's when you see the box is moving by itself. That's enough, you tell yourself, and you throw the box outside and go to sleep. But in the middle of the night, you suddenly wake up with something stuck inside your throat. You rush to the bathroom, coughing uncontrollably until you spit out a key. Confused and terrified, you leave the bathroom only to see an even more unbelievable sight. The box has somehow appeared in the middle of your hallway. So do you use the key to open the box and finally find out what's inside of it? This short film is called Mystery Box, and it was such a strange and unique story that I really enjoyed. Definitely check this one out and follow for more.
The surveillance camera caught this 73-year-old's final moments before he was murdered by this man over a $20,000 Rolex. And you guys won't believe this, but this guy who took his life did this all because he wanted to gift his girlfriend something nice for Christmas. This all happened last month when 56-year-old Nenad Milosevic met with his friend 73-year-old Anthony at around 10 p.m. at night. Anthony owned a jewelry store in Fort Lauderdale, and on that night, surveillance footage shows them entering the building and then taking the elevator to go upstairs to his shop after they went out for dinner. Apparently, Nenad wanted to buy jewelry for his girlfriend for Christmas, but things went horribly wrong. After entering the shop on the 3rd floor, Nenad was seen leaving 2 hours later on his own, carrying a bag and something covered with a towel. Anthony was reported missing on September 20th, but his body was found 3 days later in his shop by police, and the autopsy showed that he had injured his neck, back, and head. Eventually, he did admit to murdering his 73-year-old friend and to stealing 20 pieces of jewelry, which he ended up throwing over a bridge. Nenad was eventually charged with 2nd-degree murder.
All over some jewelry.
The gunfire captured at the end of that clip took the life of 26-year-old Melisha Jackson and her 1-year-old son, Isaac. On December 17, 2019, Melisha and Isaac were just hanging out in their home. And that's when a group of masked men approached the back of the home. 3 men then opened fire into the back door of the home and killed Melisha and Isaac. Sadly, Isaac was actually in his mother's arms when they were both shot and killed. Just a few days after the shooting, this man, Thomas Anthony Henderson, was announced as a suspect. At the time of the shooting, he was still a teenager. Thomas is currently still in prison for this crime, but there are 2 other men that were involved in the shooting that were never brought to justice. If you know anything about the murders of Melisha or Isaac Jackson, please contact local authorities, because this story is absolutely horrific. These 2 were just hanging out at home. The gunmen were trying to target someone involved in a gang, but these 2 were not the intended targets, and in fact, the initial target wasn't even shot. Also, if you want to hear more true crime stories, listen to the podcast that my wife and I co-host, Murder in America, available on all streaming platforms.
To think we were actually impressed when this first came out in 2023. Extremely grainy and chaotic, with each clip only being like 2 seconds long. Not to mention, the backgrounds, movements, and pretty much everything going on in the videos is just totally warped and doesn't visually make any sense. More of a bad trip than a realistic simulation, but it's a start. Then in 2024, we get a serious update. It's looking much better. Full HD, and there's a sort of consistency in the video where things aren't just morphing in and out of shape anymore. You'll still notice some movements that are kind of creepy and jerky, or objects that just forget how they were supposed to be oriented. Overall, it still has a very uncanny type of feel to it. Like, we can obviously tell what we're looking at isn't real life, but now, 2025 just brought it to a whole new level. Actually, no. This is a real video Will Smith took himself in 2024 as a parody to all the AI videos of him eating spaghetti. But it does give us a sort of control test of what we're working towards. Because this is AI Will Smith eating spaghetti in 2025. The future is here. Huge improvements over...
Man, it's scary, bro. Like how AI is constantly keep getting better and better and better than each year. You ain't gonna be able to tell the difference no more. And people are already getting fooled now. Just imagine, like 10 or 20 years from now, you can't distinguish a real video from a fake video. It's getting scary out
For
here, Seekers.
2024, at first glance, it almost looks 100% real. But if you look really close, you'll see a few unnatural movements and subtle transformations that just don't make much sense. But clearly, we're making great progress, and soon enough, we're going to be able to generate videos of anyone doing anything, and we're not even going to be able to tell whether they're real or AI. Hold up, should we be concerned?
You won't believe how this mother lost her daughter. Jeannie Diddy had a daughter named Macy Gray. They looked so happy together, and one day she said her 2-year-old choked on a banana. Sadly, her daughter passed away. Jeannie was so heartbroken that she had these pictures made. It was her grieving with the ghost of her daughter. Sometimes things aren't what they seem. Turns out that she only got those photos made to look innocent. Jeannie and her boyfriend Zach actually abused her daughter. Winded up killing her. Rest in peace, Macy.
Pictures, man. Never tell the full story.
Where do you think this person is from? What about this person? Or this person? You might have guessed these people to be indigenous Australians, or perhaps people of the Pacific Islands, or even Africans. But they're actually members of various Adivasi tribes found in India. The people I showed you were specifically part of the Irula and Anya tribes. Now, according to the Out of Africa theory, humans first entered South Asia or India around 70,000 years ago. We refer to the people that formed a hunter-gatherer society in South Asia as the AASI. All South Asians partially descend from these early Homo sapiens that entered the subcontinent. Apparently, around 22% of my own DNA is derived from these ancient people. But the reason these tribal communities in India are so fascinating is because up to 70% of their DNA is derived from the AASI. And so some refer to them as the indigenous people of India, a debated title. Could these be zombie hands? Hello, my friend. My name is Aslan, and today we're looking at something called dead man's fingers, also known as Zolaria polymorphia. Believe it or not, this is actually a fungus. As you probably guessed, it gets the name dead man's fingers from the fact that it looks like a zombie hand reaching out of the ground. Funny enough, it actually grows around the base of dying trees. This picture is probably the creepiest to me because it looks like the toes of a corpse. And that's our first episode of Spooky Season.
It does look like Dead Man's Hands.
11, 5, 9 and 20 miles today, 4, 11, 17, 32 the day before. Boost, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Don't look at what's in front of you. Boost, 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 moving up and down again. Men go mad with watching them. There's no discharge in the war. If your eyes drop, they will get the top of you. Boost, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war.
Did y'all know cruise ship graveyards were a thing? Because if you didn't, you do now.
A cruise ship graveyard is, get this, a graveyard for cruise ships. And it's just a bunch of absolutely massive ships in a water yard, just chilling there because they're not being used and will never be used ever again because they're either damaged or whatever. Could you imagine exploring this place at night? You would have to pay me $1 million to go anywhere close to these. Do you know how big these things are? So this is like a modern cruise ship, okay? Like, look how massive this thing is. Like, we're gonna focus right there in the pool area, okay? That's how tiny the people are in comparison to this gigantic ship. Looking at that again, and then that. No thank you. And also, this is the size of the Titanic in comparison to a modern day cruise ship, which is about 4 times as big. And we all know how big Titanic was. Why these people? Are those children or are those? No, those are adults. Oh my God, look how big they are. It's small. Look how small they are in comparison to this gigantic bottom of the ship. This photo made my stomach drop into the pit of my butt when I saw it this morning. I actually kind of love this. I love this for her, this goat chilling with this dog in front of a ship graveyard. I would not be joining the goat. I just want to know what these people are on to be able to get in kayaks and go anywhere near these abandoned ships. Like, that's just horrific. Could you go in a kayak and go anywhere near these abandoned ships? And here's the inside of one of the cruise ships when it was turned sideways. Look at that, is nauseating. Like, imagine being on a cruise ship and it starts sinking and then you go outside and you see this in the hallway. Titanic all over again. This is so scary. So yeah, anyway, how are we feeling about these ship graveyards? Would you go near them?
No!
If you walk into this forest, you might never walk out. At least, that's what the legend says. This creepy slideshow that I got tagged in shows an image of a strange clearing in a forest, some images of UFOs that many people actually believe are real, and finally mentions the name of the forest, the Hoa Baciu. The Hoa Baciu is located in Romania, or Transylvania to be precise, and it's long been thought to be one of the most paranormal places on the earth. This forest is very old, however trees look very young, and as you can see, they have a lot of very weird curves and formations. And many people that are born in this area are warned never step foot in the forest because evil presences live there. It's rumored that many people that have walked into the forest have never come out, so it's kind of like a Bermuda Triangle, and even time travel has been involved here. With people that have gone missing for years on end, suddenly reappear, they don't remember where they were, but they look the exact same. Personally, I think that I would go into this, or at least take a tour of this forest, but what about you guys?
See, cause y'all going into there? I see there's like a whole area where there's nothing but grass and it's in the whole circle. Nah, I'm good, love. Yeah, I got that. I take heed of the warnings. Yeah, I know why the people didn't.
Creepy urban legends from each state, Part 1, Arizona.
The ghost of Slaughterhouse Canyon. During the 1800s, there was a family who lived in the canyon. They were very poor, so the father would venture out into the canyon for food for his family. As you might have guessed, one day the father did not return, so his family slowly starved and descended into madness. The mother, unable to bear listening to her children cry anymore, put on her wedding dress, murdered the children, and threw them into a nearby river. The next day, she succumbed to starvation herself. The legend states that if you go down to Slaughterhouse Canyon at night, even now you will hear loud, anguished cries of the mother who lost her mind.
Staying from Slaughterhouse Canyon. Noted.
She says, it's his fingers. Yeah, I've seen his fingers.
A father confesses in detail the horrific moment his infant was being eaten alive by rats.
What do you think the explanation is? In your mind, what do you think it is? Instantly, what's the rats?
50 rat bites. That's how many bites a poor 6-month-old baby had all over his body after his parents left rats to nearly eat him alive.
I've seen blood everywhere, his diaper was half hanging off of him. I haven't seen his hands on it. He went to the bathroom and took a water spot, like they had a nosebleed. She says, it's his fingers. I haven't seen his fingers. Most of the fingers? Yes. He had marks on his head. Right. Were those marks new or they're in there? Okay. What do you think the explanation is? In your mind, what do you think it is? Instantly, what's the rest?
The infant was left in a pool of blood with his tiny fingers gnawed down to the bone. He nearly died from blood loss and is now permanently disfigured.
So that's the only extra thing in that room all night. Anybody ever been bit before? No. By rat? Anybody? Any kids? You? No. Rat? Me? No.
He was living in a true house of horrors. It was in deplorable conditions, infested with rats and full of clutter, trash, bugs, and feces. The baby's mauling wasn't the first rat attack at the home. 3 other children had previously been bitten while sleeping. The Indiana Department of Child Services had provided aid to address safety concerns beforehand. The father has denied these allegations.
There's never been none of those children been bitten by rats during the night, or at all.
Prosecutors said the baby's father, David Schoenebaum, failed to address issues that would have provided the children with a safe environment to live in.
But specifically, when you pick him up, you see the injuries, you immediately think in your mind, you're like, rats did this. There's nothing else could have caused this. Yeah.
David Schoenebaum was sentenced to 16 years in prison after a jury convicted him of 3 felonies related to the neglect and endangerment of his children. His wife, Angel Schoenebaum, and Schoenebaum's sister-in-law, Delana Thurman, was given probation. We hope in some way the baby can heal from this traumatizing incident.
After watching this movie, I'm realizing that we need to bring back haunted object horror movies because look at this. Freaky as hell. So I got to see an early screening of The Monkey, which comes out February 21st, and it's not because I am cool, it's because Justin over at Slasher Talk is very cool, and he got a private screening, and I was like, hello, can I tag along? And I didn't really know anything about the movie other than the fact that it's based on a short story from Stephen King, and it's brought to us by Osgood Perkins, who also brought us Long Legs. And if you're expecting something like Long Legs, wipe your mind of that baby, because it is nothing like that. The gist of the movie is about these twin brothers who have this inherited haunted monkey toy thing, and when he bangs his little drum, crazy things happen. I went into this thinking it was going to be like Long Legs, like very dreadful and very serious. No, it is bonkers and batshit crazy and bloody and gory and hilarious. It's a horror comedy. I didn't know that. And I know the trailer shows a ton of the death scenes, but I promise you, that's not even that half of it. I do have to warn you though, because this is a horror comedy, a lot of these death scenes are like very gratuitous and very over the top. So just keep an open mind that this is like a very just fun, silly, unserious movie when it comes to that. Overall, I gave The Monkey 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. This one's just a fun one. You can sit back, turn your brain off, and enjoy all the chaotic craziness that's going on.
Earning almost $50 million a year at the peak of her success. And the cool story is that every 3 years, she would renegotiate her contract by having a dinner with CBS. But instead of an actual negotiation, she would just bring a sealed envelope with her salary demand and place it on the executive's part of the table. And one year, the executive brought his own envelope. She refused him and said, if I look inside of your envelope, it's a negotiation. And this is not a negotiation. She definitely knew her word. With Grand Theft Auto 6, if it ever comes out, estimating to be about $2 billion to develop, here are a few things cheaper than that. Infinity War and Endgame both combined were $800 million. The second Queen Mary was $900 million. Amazon buying the entire company of Twitch was $970 million. The Golden Gate Bridge cost $1 billion to make. The Mars rover was $1 billion.
This woman freezing up in the parking lot is the whole reason I believe glitches in the Matrix are real. Watch this.
That's actually really concerning.
Everything's moving around behind her. The cars are going. And this lady's just stuck in this position.
Yeah, she frozen, bro.
Oh my god.
This is insane. This lady's not moving. God just walked right there. Nobody seems to notice but these people.
Is no one noticing this?
You don't even care.
Is no one seeing this? What is going on?
What?
That's crazy.
This is a glitch in the Matrix if I've ever seen one. This lady definitely got stuck in some kind of time loop in the Matrix. She didn't move for a good solid 40 seconds. Let me know if you've ever experienced anything quite like this. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Stay weird.
I don't know what this is. Excuse me for the people walking through, but this is the guy that's possessed. I'm sitting out here in my car, TikTok friends and family, and I am videoing him. And I've been watching him for a while, but he goes in and out and come back. And yes, I hope you guys can get a good picture of him. But this is possessed. He's possessed. That's crazy.
What exactly does it mean to be possessed? Is it when some other entity walks into your body and takes over? Some people will say, oh, they're high on drugs, but don't drugs allow your vessel to be taken over in the spiritual world? Who can explain exactly what a possession is. Leave it below.
What the hell? Is that a dog?
Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Barry, what the?
Oh, no, what the?
Oh. I can't get it. Ah. Barry. Ah.
What they chaining that dog for?
See. Go. Oh, that's all I take right.
Your dog is nuts. Man, get him off my property. Get him off my property, bro.
See.
Get him out of there, bro.
Oh, and another thing, bro, they don't teach y'all that we can shape, bro. Like, it gets so magical. People be thinking like I'm crazy for real, but everything I'm saying actually is obtainable, it's achievable, and it actually works. Like, you can actually adjust and alter yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually to fit in an environment or space and a place. That's how you quantum leap. Like, what is quantum leap? Go to my YouTube channel, look through my little playlist, and click one of those. Thank me later. But you can actually adjust yourself to the desired reality you want to live. But you always changing how you look. You never look the same. I'm never the same. Every time you see me, I've evolved, and I'm always growing. So with that being said, you actually have control to change and alter yourself to fit to the next desired reality you want to go to. The question is, are you being complacent and stagnant? Are you afraid to do that? Like, what's up? Because you can do it.
Something wrong. Is that like that show Quantum Leap I've seen before, man? When people were jumping into new bodies, new lives. That's like a whole series, man. She said she got a whole playlist, I guess, on YouTube to break it down for us. Should I check that out?
With the people in America. I repeat, something is completely wrong with the people in America. UK out there protesting. You don't see what's taking place out in UK, Switzerland, China, Korea, even certain parts of America, how people are accepting the digital ID system, aka the mark of the beast system. Oh, lean back. You see this? They want everything from you. They want it all. Sean, wrote a clip so they can believe you. Because seeing is believing to a lot of folks. I can't believe I mentioned this 5 years ago and I'm starting to see it right now. And a lot of you are going to take it out of fear. Roll the clip.
Let's see it. They fighting back, protesting. No to that digital ID, man. I ain't getting it.
Give all glory and honor to my Father in heaven, Yahuwah. Thank you for all of your revelational knowledge and your prophecies, and thank you for sending your son. Revelations 13:16 through 18 reads, He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand and on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark of the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for is the number of a man, his number is 666. Right here in Revelation. You see that? And it's exactly what's going on right now in the world. Family, repent, because the kingdom of heaven is truly at hand. Matthew 3:2. We must repent. I want everybody to have eternal life. I want my soul to be saved and yours too. I'm in the business of saving souls, and that's why I'm on here now. We must repent. I just want to tell you I love you. If you haven't gotten a chance to follow my links below, please do. That's where I'll be at if you don't find me on here. Shalom, and I'll see you in the next video.
Câmara de segurança de uma fazenda filma o exato momento que é formado um capetinha rural. Para quem não sabe aí, gente, o capetinha rural é formado aí por pequenos redemoinhos aí que aparecem no meio da estrada de terra. Tá vendo aí?
The main reason why Donald Trump wants Greenland because there's an accumulation of intrinsic resources due to the fact it's the crown chakra of planet Earth, which is the head of Turtle Island, that was connected to the Atlantean energy grid system that was also connected to Hyperborea. Now, the European Commission and the Smithsonian, they found critical raw materials that gives an intrinsic power to the Rubus Negra, which is also known as the land of magnets, that leads to an interstellar vortex portal to Hollow Earth. Now, you have to watch the movie Greenland and Greenland Part 2 that comes out today because it's showing you the signs of the end times, which is a form of eschatology. So when you get into the metaphysics of theological context, when you go to Revelation chapter 21, verse 1, it says a new heaven and a new earth by way of the unlocking of the Pleiadian light lock when you go to Job chapter 38, verse 31. Now, remember, I was telling you that the Trump administration is playing both sides because the implementation of the republic can only be cultivated during the time of the sun cycle, which is why you cannot have a democracy and a patriarchy during the time of the sun cycle because that's connected to the Aquarian age, which is the restoration of the matriarch. So that's basically like breaking universal law. Tonight, you have to watch Greenland Part 2 because it's going to give you the metaphysical blueprint of what's going to be taking place in the future. It's showing you the destruction of the Piscean age of darkness as you step into the Aquarian age. It shows you the new heaven and the new earth at the end of the movie. You gotta watch the movie Greenland Part 2. It comes out tonight.
No, I'm not even.
Seekers, you watching that, man? I was when we were saying about how Greenland has all these resources, that's I guess why everybody wants it. You know, the stuff that's going on with Trump and Greenland. That kind of makes sense, man, because I've always wondered, I'm like, why does Trump want Greenland so bad that, yeah, he like keeps going after it, or he states that he wants it. The resources, that's what us all comes down to. Tell me down below, Seekers, if you guys watch Greenland Part 2, man, you can give me the summary. I'm gonna check it out myself.
Even willy-nilly you guys right now. The ice storm that's about to happen in the United States, get stacking wood now. Get into the forest and literally get wood, because you may need it to heat on your freaking lean-to. Like, you need to be maybe outside around a fire because your house might be freezing. The ice storm that's coming, look at it. We're talking Texas, ice, snow, freezing cold across all the United States. Canada is supposed to get, look at it. I thought it was just going to be cold. No, there's precipitation involved. The coldest air mass on Earth will be centered over Ontario. This, I don't even know, has this ever happened before? Before we recorded it, perhaps. Not longer than 6,000 years ago, of course, though. But is this freaking crazy or what? This guy's saying you're not going anywhere this weekend if you're in the South. It may bring extended disruption. All three of the main weather models continue to coat much of Texas and the South with hazardous and locally crippling ice totals. This guy's saying you should be getting stocked up on groceries and non-perishables. And I say something that you can heat your freaking house with. They say if you get a clay pot, you put it upside down, and you put some little cinder blocks or something around it, then you put a candle in it, and that alone emits a ton of heat. Well, so does a bajillion pounds of wood. This is why I stacked all freaking summer, dude. I'm a wood chopper. How many woodchucks could have chopped freaking wood? So listen, this is strange, because I don't know about you, but this winter has seemed extremely abnormal. It was like above zero a few weeks ago, and it was minus 15 on December 15th. Okay, before Christmas, we had like February temperatures. So what the Sam Dam's going on? So right now, stock up on diesel, gas, freaking snowmobiling. Got my new snowmobile. I'll tell you guys all about it. It's a freaking beast, man. I'll tell you all about it. Stay tuned. Comment your thoughts. Tell me how your winter's going, because this is weird.
Oh, come on. You don't actually
weird.
believe that we never went to the moon, right? Right? Yeah. No, but I do think that India failed computer design.
Who is here to encourage us, and he is critically looking at the visuals.
Yeah, it's supposed to like show the moon landing or simulate it or something.
जी हाँ, आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि हम लैंडर मॉड्यूल.
Anyways, here's my driver. And did you know that the first man to walk on the moon was actually Neil Armstrong's cameraman? Where's his recognition? Anyways, let's hit it.
I never thought about it. Yeah, where is this
At this
recognition?
point, y'all, we are not getting GTA.
Bro, is GTA 6 freaking situation is crazy, bro. Apparently there was an explosion at the headquarters, I guess, man. Is that just a sign, bro, that GTA 6 is never coming out, bro? And I heard, actually, like a couple of weeks ago, I was just looking it up, bro, how they said they're still testing it, man. Like, how it's not even done. At this point, I'm not going to be surprised if they just delay it just so it can come out with the PlayStation 7 and the new Xbox, man. If it doesn't come out this year, bro, I'm calling it. They're not going to release it until, like, the PlayStation 7 comes out, because it makes no sense, man. Keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed, bro. They hyping this game up, man. It better be worth it, bro. The wait. I guarantee you, man. It's probably gonna generate probably like $1 billion. It costs like they said it costs like $2 billion to make. I guarantee it's probably gonna make double that back within the release. Like maybe 4 or 6 billion, bro. But this is crazy, man. I think this is just a sign that it's not coming out this year, bro. like a headquarter explosion, bro. There's never been a more clear side to that, man.
It's over. This can sound crazy all you want, but what if this fire was in an Aqua GTA? Y'all, let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments.
Are these giants on this map? You tell me. Take a look at this. Look at the size of the trees here. Look at the size of the people. This is a 1613 map. It's a really pretty map. It's done of, as you can see here, and they did a nice photograph of it, but it has Africa and the Europe areas, but it also has the Americas here, all decked out and really interesting. 1613, all of the North America area is all of France. Got the France coat of arms here.
Angels?
People just hanging out. Smaller people see the trees, see the people. And then down in the South Americas, it's all Spanish and Spain. You see there with that big coat of arms there, and then obviously this here. And again, people hanging out below the trees. Not as big, but when you go over here, you have in Africa these people standing above the trees, pointing above them.
Giants, bro.
What did you think of that? I thought that was kind of crazy. If you'd like a link to this map, just hit me up in the comments. Thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And until next time.
Has almost gone extinct multiple times. We are not special, we are late. The Great Dying was 252 million years ago and is our biggest mass extinction event. Over 90% of life vanished because an insane amount of volcanoes erupted. This made the air poison and the oceans acid. Snowball Earth, the period where the planet froze completely. It was covered in ice from the poles to the equator. Life survived in tiny ponds or pockets of slushy. The oxygen apocalypse, when oxygen used to be toxic. Cyanobacteria flooded the atmosphere with it, and most of life on Earth choked to death. It's formally called the Great Oxidation Event. The Late Devonian extinction, here the ocean lost oxygen and wiped out almost all marine life, so life moved to land because it was the more logical choice. And from this came the first forests. The dinosaur-killing asteroid released more energy than billions of nuclear bombs. It caused global firestorms, acid rain, and a sun-blocking dust cloud that annihilated 75% of life on Earth. And the Late Ordovician mass extinction, the planet got icy, which dropped sea levels dramatically. Nearly 85% of marine species died because their world literally drained away. Finally, the Triassic-Jurassic extinction. This one was caused by volcanoes. It ripped Pangaea apart, and now we are at the beginning of a new mass extinction called Holocene, except this time it's not volcanoes or asteroids, it's us.
Wow.
Thank you.
How many extinction events did we
That's why
have?
archaeologists are too scared to open the tomb of China's first emperor. Despite discovering this site almost 40 years ago and exploring the majority of it, no one has seen inside the actual tomb for over 2,000 years since the emperor was first sealed inside. Now, the fears to open this tomb come from the writings of an ancient Chinese historian who wrote that the tomb is hooked up to a number of booby traps that were designed to kill anyone who tries to enter. Not only were the craftsmen ordered to make crossbows and arrows primed to shoot any intruders, but even if these fail, archaeologists say that there's another and even more dangerous threat. When the tomb was constructed, they used huge amounts of mercury, which is highly toxic, to simulate entire rivers and set them to flow mechanically. So, due to these concerns, what mysteries lie inside this tomb remain to be sealed and unseen.
You mean people are mad at this guy for taking the $1 million in a Mr. Beast game? So Mr. Beast told this guy if he presses the button and screws his whole team over, that he would win $1 million. And his team was in shock. And this is where it gets even more insaner. Not only did he press the button to win $1 million, and not only is the rest of his team out, which means that there is less competition for the $5 million, which he can still win too. Would I rather have $1 million and be able to play for 5 or get the respect of my team? And this is where it gets even more sadder. The girl on his team literally berates him and says, "We don't respect you anymore. You can call me selfish all day long, but if I have $1 million in my bank, I don't care about your opinion. I would 100% sacrifice my dignity for $1 million and potentially 5. And this is where it gets even so much more funnier, because the guy that took the $1 million, he posted a tweet saying, "Now that I have my $1 million, I do not regret my decision."
Damn.
If you were offered $1 million by Mr. Beast to screw over your whole team, would you?
You will not believe what they have just found inside the pyramids of Giza. Great. More strange Egyptian stuff going down. What is it this time? You probably remember in 2024 they found a strange anomaly of, like, energy underneath the pyramids. Not sure what that was. And then they used LiDAR technology last year where they discovered something absolutely insane. I'm sure you all remember everybody talking about this. They found what looked like megastructures under the pyramids. They kind of popped it off, but I don't know. Now they're using LiDAR and new types of technology which basically allows them to see through walls, so they must have got their perks equipped. But this time the archaeologists are looking at the smallest pyramid in Giza, and what they've found could be pretty nuts. We know that inside the pyramids not everywhere has been explored. These places were basically built to hide whatever they wanted it to hide. Now inside one of them they've found what looks like could be a passageway to essentially a secret chamber that's completely sealed off. Researchers are using the technology to look through the walls and see what's inside, and well, they can see some things in there, but they don't know what it is. So it's looking like they're potentially going to get into this hidden chamber somehow by breaking in, but I don't know if that's even allowed. But they're looking into it, running a lot more tests to see what it could be, so there's going to be a lot more coming. I'll keep you updated.
So that chamber.
Minnesota tax fraud. Crazy stuff's happening there.
So there's $18 billion that's been put towards federal funds that supported Minnesota-run programs. $9 billion or more, or reportedly, may have been stolen.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
People are saying that work nearby, saying, we don't see any kids ever around here. We have no idea. We thought they were closed. Nick Shirley's a 23-year-old YouTuber trying to dig deep, where's this money going? And he shows up, and there's absolutely no evidence that any kids are there.
The director of education or something, she's like, well, that daycare center closed over a week ago. But then the next day, they were interviewing the guy that owns the building, and they had all these kids going into the building. He's like, we were never closed. Our office hours are on the window. It says 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night for a daycare center. It seems like such a front.
The same guy that was doing that interview, someone stopped and said, wait a minute, that's the mayor in Minnesota, and he's dancing and hanging out with the Somalian community. One of the guys behind him is the guy who's speaking for the daycare. That's a weird coincidence, and the state's saying the money is missing. How does that happen? That's $9 billion.
Hold on. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Lunchables and goldfish and stuff?
Yeah. Groceries are expensive.
They're pretty expensive now.
Somebody need to find out if Unc that made tenderism got fired. Because if he did, we cannot let this shit rock. We know for a fact that the man that owned Destination Smokehouse ain't like Unc being the face of his business. We also know that the attention that Unc was getting, he wanted that attention. Unc made the word tenderism. He trademarked the word tenderness. This is why we recently saw him having Unc film him do shit that Unc usually do. Matter of fact, look at this shit.
Look at that. Look at that. And watch this. Even the virus. And the flavor is insane. It's like definitely one in the next.
Now we see why when Keith Lee came in, they act like Unc was too busy to see Keith Lee. They act like Unc wasn't there. Keith Lee had a $4,000 tip for Unc, and they didn't let Unc get that. And then you wonder why. And then to top that off, Boss ain't like the fact that Keith Lee came here to see Unc. Makes a video about Keith Lee. Come on, what kind of shit is that? And now there's rumors going around that Unc got fired. You know that might be a good thing for Unc. He got a chance to get out of that get out movement. But if Unc did get fired, Destination Smokehouse is going to be Destination Closehouse. I'm out.
Willow AI chip by Google. Joe Rogan talked about this. It's a computer chip. It can travel to different dimensions and process calculations faster just because it doesn't think like the human mind. It's like a quantum computer that jumps ahead. Yes, and they can do calculations faster.
In benchmark tests, Willow solved a standard computation in less than 5 minutes that would take a leading supercomputer over 10 septillion years to solve. Far beyond the age of the universe.
But one thing that you talked about, remember that aliens spotted in the Miami Strip? Yeah. This is crazy. They're saying that theory, the only reason why that happened was because they tested that chip on the same day. Oh, for real? Yeah, as the Miami incident. Oh, so they're saying if you can jump dimensions, it just opened a little portal. Other things came into the real world, and that's why they can't explain it. Why do you think it's not covered? Because, Miami didn't know what the hell that is, and it just disappeared right away. Maybe that's because the computer right after closed. That's all that it needed.
So how do you explain this, y'all? This guy notices it was abnormally hot in Kentucky today, y'all. And then he took his phone up to the sky, and then he looked up, and he recorded 3 suns in the sky. It don't make sense, y'all. It's like 2 of them are like bright white, and 1 of them is orange. But this orange one kept on glitching in and out of the sky. It kept on disappearing. Look at this. Hold on, y'all. Check this out.
3 of them.
Somebody please tell me what in the world is going on. That's not a reflection. That's crazy. What is going on?
you guys can clearly see 3 light sources up in the sky, y'all. But I want you to focus on this sorbet orange one. Look at it. So y'all seen that, right? It disappeared, right? And then it's gonna come back and then disappear again. What is going on? Is this what they mean by Project Bluebeam?
Could be.
Oh, of course it's back.
What is going on, y'all? Y'all seen 3-body problem? What is that? Why does this remind me of Naruto? Why does that look like a Rasengan? Why? Y'all look at this. And it's also abnormally warm around the world, not just Kentucky too, y'all. As y'all can see, there are big changes happening on our planet, and it's happening quickly. But let me know what you guys think about this video. The ship is here. Let's
About dreams you didn't know. When you are dreaming and some weird creature appears in your dream, there is someone watching you. If you are unable to fall asleep, that means you are awake in someone else's dream. 90% of your dreams are actually traumas.
Damn, so what the heck? You said 90% of our dreams is traumas. I'm gonna have to go cop on the last one. Because we be having some good dreams sometimes. I don't know about that last one. That one's iffy to me.
The video I'm about to show you is freaking out the internet. Take a look at this deer and watch what it does. People believe that this deer was shape-shifting and that it might be a Wendigo. Wendigos are cannibalistic shapeshifters from Algonquin folklore. Could this be a Wendigo about to shapeshift into its true form? And it caught the camera and it's like, oh shit, can't do it now. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, follow me on YouTube, link in bio for more. Should I just do it?
That was weird. It definitely looked like it was doing something. What the hell was it? Y'all saw that little freaking, I guess, centipede on that PSD?
Scary facts that will make your skin crawl. If you're wearing earplugs listening to music, and you hear someone calling you or door knocking, it's the ghost informing you of their presence. The inventor of the Ouija board claims it got its name when they asked it what it should be called. They also asked it what Ouija meant, and it replied, good luck. If you're walking and you feel someone behind you, it's a ghost looking at you. The human body can feel the presence of a ghost.
Felt that before?
Scary facts that will blow your mind. When you wake up after a dream, and remember the dream, it wasn't a dream, it was a message.
Hidden messages in our dreams.
Scary facts you wish you never knew. Don't try to look at yourself in the mirror at the middle of the night because from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. your reflection isn't actually you.
It's not. What the hell are we looking at then?
Creepy facts about your body you're gonna wish you didn't know. When you go down a drop on a roller coaster and you suddenly feel your stomach drop, it's not just you feeling nervous. What you're feeling are your organs actually moving. Have you ever noticed that an older person in your life seems to have very long, large ears? That's because your ears will never stop growing. Across your lifetime, you will spend an average of an entire year just sitting on a toilet. When we see brains outside of the human body, they usually look pretty solid, but your brain, while inside your skull while you're alive, is actually very soft. It's like melted butter soft.
Oh, what the hell?
Did you know people who stay up late and get up late are more likely to become psychopaths? Hello, and here's some creepy facts. Most laugh tracks and shows are from people in the 50s, which means you are hearing the laughter of dead people. If you wake up between 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. for no apparent reason, there is a 90% chance something was staring at you. Lack of sleep will shrink your brain. 70% of your dreams contain hidden meanings. On average, people escape death about 6 times through their life without knowing it. You're always 6 minutes away from death, but breathing resets the clock. Your body is the weakest between 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. as this is the time most people die in their sleep. If you shiver for no reason, then it means a spirit is passing near you. Heartbreak is a real thing known as broken heart syndrome, and the symptoms are similar to a heart attack. Your phone has a very tiny camera that watches your every move. Every time you sneeze, you skip a heartbeat.
I never knew that. So you sneeze and you skipping a heartbeat? That's how I've been seeing some of these clips, man. It's not good in the hole to sneeze, bro. Just let it out, bro.
Scary facts that you don't want to know. Number 1. The rhythm of Baby Shark is actually the perfect rhythm for child CPR. Number 2. If you electrocute someone while they're in water, it will actually leave no burn marks whatsoever. Number 3. In Formula 1 racing, seatbelts were not required until 1972. Before then, drivers believed that it was better to fly out of the car and risk death than to be stuck in the car and risk being burned alive by the flaming fuel. Number 4. There's actually a fungus that controls ants and turns them into zombies, kind of like a particular game series. And finally, number 5. There's a parasite known as guinea worm, which is a worm that goes into your body and into your leg by drinking infected water. You won't notice anything at all until a year later when the parasite pierces through your leg to release larvae. And by that point, it is nearly a meter long. Why wait? Follow for more scary topics. Thanks, guys.
That last one is scary, man. A whole worm living inside you.
3 scary facts about dreams. 1. If you are dreaming and some weird creature appears in your dream, there is someone watching you. 2. If you are unable to fall asleep, that means you are awake in someone else's dream. 3. 90% of your dream are actually traumas.
So they're just traumas that make a...
Pictures with creepy backstories. Hotel manager pouring acid into pool because he only wanted white people to use it. Youngest mother ever recorded. At only 5 years old, she had a rare condition called precocious puberty. The father was never found. Seconds after this photo was taken, both boys were struck by lightning. This was the last photo taken of a volcanologist who moments later was killed by a volcanic eruption. The night this photo was taken of a mum and 2 sons, the son on the left paid to friends to kill her and his brother.
It's chilling your own brother, man.
Scary facts that will ruin your day. Do you ever wake up around 3 a.m. for no apparent reason? They say that if you wake up around 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. for no reason, that there's a 90% chance something was staring at you.
I was tagging this and people want to know if it's true or false. This is false, this is rubbish. But let me give you a fact, yeah? The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, whoever wakes up at night, suddenly wakes up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, he should say this dua, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. To all this dua here, you can do a screenshot so you can know what to say. You can say it English or Arabic, yeah? Whoever does that, Allah will forgive his sins. And the Prophet ﷺ in another narration says, if he says this dua and does wudu and prays to Allah, Allah will accept his prayer. In other words, your dua is accepted, everything is accepted. Allah woke you up at that time for a reason. Allahu Akbar. Take opportunity of it.
We're waking up at 3 a.m.
Disturbing things caught on GoPro camera PT.2.
Who said a chop in the woods, man?
Here's some things that I know about the ocean that heavily influence me to stay on shore when I go to the beach. So you know when you see underwater photos and there are these like little white specks? Well, those are called marine snow, and what they are essentially just organic debris, aka chunks of rotting fish flesh falling to the ocean floor. So enjoy your next swim and keep your mouth closed. Riptides, bro. So if you don't know what riptides are, they're basically narrow currents of water caused by the tides that pull the water back in the opposite direction of the shore. Now, if you get caught in one and you're not calm and you panic, odds are it's going to pull you out into the ocean and you're just going to keep fighting it until you get exhausted to the point that you drown. According to the United States Life-Saving Association, these things kill over 100 people a year. And consider that that is just in the US. If I ever got caught in one of these, all that would be on my mind is that I was going to get dragged out to the depths of the ocean and get eaten by the Kraken. So rockfish are these little fish that just chill at the bottom of the ocean floor. Can you see him on first glance in this photo? Exactly. They're very good at camouflaging themselves as harmless rocks. If you step on one, they'll shoot out these little dorsal spines out of their back that inject venom into your foot and can cause a lot of pain and infection. But hey, don't worry, there are a multitude of other fish within the same species, some of which their venom is deadly, and also they can be found all over the world. Isn't that awesome?
Hey man, stay away from those rockfish, bro. They look like...
Let's see if you have nyctophobia. I'm going to show you 5 photos. Try your best to make it through all 5. Let's start the test. How does this dark hole make you feel? How about walking home at night alone? Walking down this hallway with no flashlight? Looking out of the window and seeing this? Or looking out at night to see this figure? So how did you do? Did you make it through all 5? If not, then you could have nyctophobia, which is the fear of the night or darkness. Let me know if you have nyctophobia in the comments below, and remember to hit the plus sign and follow me to see if you can make it through the next phobia test.
I made it, man. I'm not scared of dark hallways or the dark.
These scary videos will make you scream hysterically. This creepy video shows a group of British friends playing catch in a courtyard when one of them sees something terrifying.
Did you see that there?
This scary clip shows a kid making a video for his school project when the camera catches something unexpected at the window. This scary security footage from a driveway cam shows something crossing the road. For sure is not a human being.
What the heck was that? I just saw like a quick flash in the end.
A man woke up to a Ring doorbell notification on his front door. This is what was waiting for him outside.
What the heck? Don't open that door. I should just hold it. Call the cops, bro. She's just holding it, standing around, look like she wanted to do something.
Number 27, Monster Mom. Is this mother actually a monster? TikToker Nina Inton shared this truly terrifying video captured on a security camera. After the child's mom disappears from view, the child starts to panic. He's looking for his mom, and then he finds her.
Where's Mama? I Oh, Chili.
Did you see that creepy face?
Oh,
Split second.
Where's Mama? I still Oh, Chili.
Although there are various theories, most everyone can agree that the image is beyond creepy. I personally think something paranormal is going on here, but then again, an image on a shirt is more likely. Still, what a terrifying image to have printed on a shirt. Number 26.
Oh, so that looked like, that did look like a flat image. Okay. Yeah. How does that? So somebody was following him. That's the vibe I was getting.
My brother told me that my reflection did not move and was sacred AF. I did not believe him at first, but we reviewed it on our CCTV.
They moved for that split second. It didn't move, we saw it. I don't know what was happening, it was a glitch or something. What are the baby? I ain't gonna lie, this looks like an edit. I'm gonna have to go crap on this one. Cat. I'm gonna leave that one. Just opening the gate. Why they like opening and closing it? Is that like a tradition they do? Open and close.
This is why you should never get McDonald's past 3 a.m. A man and his girlfriend were in a McDonald's drive-thru deciding what to eat, but they were quite disturbed by the sinister voice on the other side of the intercom. When it was time to pay, the girl had to use the restroom, so she hopped out of the car, went inside, and walked into the stall. Suddenly, she heard the door swing open, and the person who walked in was breathing very heavily. She ignored it for a few minutes, but the breathing got gradually closer. She peeked through the crack of the stall when she saw an eye staring right back at her. She pretended like she didn't notice, but then the person said in a chilling voice, "How long do you think it'll take him to notice that something's wrong?" It was the employee from the window. She swung the door open, hitting him right in the face, and made a run for the car. He tried chasing her, but was soon stopped by her boyfriend, who knocked him out cold. He called the cops, and needless to say, this was the last time they visited McDonald's at night. ever again.
Knocked him out, stone cold, bro. Crazy. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, thank you guys, man. Please leave a thumbs up in this video, comment down below, hit the post notification bell so you always get notified when I upload my next videos. You guys are gonna catch in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.